talking after the last show. We were like, oh, yeah,
No. Does somebody who is logged into the
Figure it out later.
It's a hard one.
Who's Stewie?
All right, and welcome everybody to the Swamp Creatures podcast. We are live every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Tonight we have a very special guest with us, the one and only King, Nick Ashley. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Finally get to speak with some of y'all who I've interacted on Twitter a bunch with. I know Richie and Duke were always talking and shit, so good to meet you guys finally.
They are
Amen.
They are our resident shit
Yes,
posters.
likewise.
All right, so we got a whole bunch of stuff that we want to talk about tonight. So we're going to hit all the important issues. But first, we want to go around and we're going to talk about what everybody's drinking. This is a 2-drink minimum podcast, so get your drinks out, boys. We're going to go around and what does everybody got? Nick's the guest, so he goes first.
I'm drinking Busch Light, gentlemen.
Busch Light.
Hey,
Yes, cultured man.
that's what I had last week.
You want to, sorry, I forgot to say, let us know what you're drinking. Introduce yourself to everybody else who doesn't know who you are. So, very professional.
Oh, me now?
Yeah, you.
Oh, Nick Ashley. I'm according to some, a Twitter edgelord troll. According to others, a based king. According to others, the best shit poster, and also according to others, pretty smart dude.
There we go. Well, I will say that you were smarter than I thought when I listened to your podcast in preparation for this. So.
I know. I actually had a tweet the other day where I just posted 3 or 4 appearances I was really happy with on other people's shows. I was like, I'm not just an idiot retard shit poster. Like, here we go.
Can confirm.
There are layers to this man.
Can confirm. Duke, what do you got?
Oh well, me, I'm going easier this week. I mean, last week I had the Jameson. This is over here to the right, but I'm drinking some Corona Premiers because Corona will never leave us, and it will not let us go. And I figured I'd just drink away the pain right now on this show.
And why should anyone care who the hell you are?
No one gives a fuck who I am. I mean, we'll figure out soon one of these days. But
All right, next up on the chart is Mara. What do you got, and who are you?
All right. We're back to some proper Trulies. It's knockoff White Claw. Who am I kidding? It's better than what I had last week. If you don't know, don't say it. Go watch
Champagne
last
and
episode.
We're judging.
champagne and
My
Mountain
name's
Dew.
Mara. The most eligible bachelor in the LPF.
We'll see. All right, Rich, you're up.
What's up, everybody? Rich, as always, releasing the Kraken. Putting a dent in that bottle, man. I'm getting.
Good God, is that a handle?
Working on
Yes.
it.
Yeah, bro.
It was up to the top.
Yeah, it was at the top.
It was up to the top at the beginning of the first episode, and I mean,
Damn it, man.
putting a decent
Jesus.
hole in that thing. When you're drinking out of one of these, 2-drink minimum. It's more like 4 drinks.
Who are you, and why should anyone care?
Dude, I'm nobody. I'm nobody, but I don't know. Some people like what I have to say, apparently. So fuck it. I'm gonna keep talking that shit.
It looks like we lost Duke for a second, but while he comes back, Mitch, you're up. What are you drinking, and who are you?
My name is Mitch Connor, and I am drinking a California Merlot because I've decided to be the fancy person here tonight.
That's
Straight out the
Southern.
bottle?
You're not fancy.
Wait, is your name really Mitch Connor?
Yep.
Like
Make
the
as many
Park
South
bit?
Park references as you want.
Yeah.
Mitch Connor. I wish I could do voices. I so wish I could do Cartman's voice right now.
Mitch Connor.
Yeah.
I wish I could do Carbons, but yeah.
All right,
Fucking love it.
Robert, you're next.
Oh yes, this fine Jim Beam black extra aged bourbon with a diet.
Well, I gotta be black.
It's stronger that way.
I like my liquor like I like my women.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
All right, I got Duke back. He's good.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
I have shit
Um,
internet here in
oh,
Brevard.
I forgot. I'm a state organizer here in Florida for the Mises Caucus. I'm on the LPF Legislative Action Committee, and go follow me on Twitter and follow my podcast, Those Doors of Liberty. And if you're not following the Swampcast or the Swamp Creature podcast, go ahead and drop a follow and a subscribe to us here too. How about that?
Sounds good to
Give
me,
us a
man.
I'm done. I yield.
Smash that subscribe button.
All right, looks like my video is fucking trailing behind my audio, so who cares? I'm Tim. I'm going to be trying to run this fucking show today, but meanwhile, I'm going to be drinking this Tennessee honey whiskey and a Coke, and so we're going to have some fun. So, in the lead up to the show, we were trying to talk about, we want to have some more structure. We want to try to cover some actual news stories before we get off into La La Land, and we are definitely going to go there later. But first, I think the biggest story that we wanted to talk about, I don't know if it's the biggest story now that I read all these back to back, but let me see here.
Wait, hold up. Before we get into the news and before we get into
off the rails now. Let's go.
The current events, yeah. Let's just kick it off with the most serious question of the night. Nick,
All
are
right,
you
boy.
are you gonna suck Bailey J's dick or are you gonna eat Buck Angel's pussy? Which one is it?
Oh no!
Hey, man, look.
It came back.
This is the thing. The question that we had come up with, that was Toad that came up with that question at anarcho_Toad on Twitter. And he did that because we always, not we, but like the group of us had arguments of in our Twitter group chat about if it's more gay to have actual sex with Bailey J or Buck Angel.
Yeah.
And I say my pick for your question, I don't think I could suck a dick. I could close my eyes and pretend that it's not like a dude attached to that pussy. So I have to pick that because that's what I know I can do.
Hey, cheers, man. I'm with you.
Does anybody have
I don't
a
know.
different
I don't
answer?
know.
Oh, you don't know who we're
I
talking
don't think
about?
I don't think my answer is different, but at the same time, if you close your eyes, you're still gonna hear her go, "Ugh." It's not gonna.
Man,
you're gonna hear something go like.
you're right.
"Ugh."
It's a tough choice. I didn't say it was easy.
I mean, that thing's pretty jacked. I mean,
Yes.
so it's gonna be squeezing your head really tight with its manly legs.
Yeah,
And-
hairy, manly legs.
I don't know. I might take the shot in the mouth. I don't know.
There's no such thing
I don't
as
know.
chicks with dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
you
a
know-
tough one. I don't know what Bailey J looks like.
I just think
Oh,
it would
look
be
her up.
easier to pretend.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. You're probably right in that regard.
There's no pretending if you're sucking a dick. Like, I don't care. You know?
Yeah, after the act is over, you cannot say no if somebody asks you. I mean, you could lie, obviously, but you can't conscionably say no if somebody asks you, "Have you ever sucked a dick before?"
I don't. Who do you
Yeah,
hang out with?
Chase Rachel's.
that they're asking you these questions. I've never been.
It's weird
I've
down here in Florida,
Oh,
man.
you know, just normal questions like, "Hey, buddy, did you see the game yesterday? Hey, you ever sucked a dick before?" You know, just
Hey.
normal shit that the
Boy, you
boys
ever
talk
sucked a dick?
about.
You could lie. You could
I guess
just lie, bro.
I'm hanging
They're
out
not
with the
gonna
wrong
have you in a
people.
lie detector.
But I've never been asked once if I've ever sucked a dick. Never once.
Really?
You ever been in prison?
Really?
No, I haven't been in prison.
Mixed culture will not allow it. They'll throw him off a building.
Yeah. I don't know. I was talking to my wife. We were eating Five Guys earlier. You know, pun intended. We were eating Five Guys earlier, and we were talking about this, and I showed her the pictures of the two people, and I was like, so what do you think? And she's like, I don't know. What's your answer gonna be? And I was like, well, I'm just gonna stick by what I've always said. If it has a dick, it's a man, and so I'm gonna go with Buck Angel. All right, are we ready to talk about something a little more serious?
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go.
All right.
Off to a
I'm
good
gonna
start, I
take
see.
The other side. No, just kidding.
I'll bring this up because you just brought up Five Guys. I heard they're going out of business, and I'm very
What?
sad.
What?
Get the fuck out of here.
Hold on.
I don't know. Someone fact check me, but I just heard
Facebook
today.
fact checkers, please fact check him. Do
Yeah, my
something
dad-
useful.
My dad said that. I mean, I love Five Guys, so that's devastating news for me.
I'm not even gonna waste my time looking that up.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to once
Yeah.
we're all done with this.
All right, so while he does this, on July 26th,
no.
it was revealed that
Five Guys is not fucking closing. They closed a lot, but no, they're not going under.
All right.
Thank you, fact checker.
Thank you.
on July.
Mara is very triggered right
Listen,
now.
boy.
Get away from my Five Guys.
All right, so if you guys heard earlier this week, it was revealed that Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, and YouTube are working together, and they have been working together upon further research since 2017 through a nonprofit organization called the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism. And their objective, apparently, is to prevent terrorists and violent extremists from exploiting digital platforms. For years, they've been gathering information on internationally organized, recognized terrorist groups like the Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, and the Taliban, but now those same databases will also include information on white supremacists and far-right militias. Among the groups specifically named were the Proud Boys and the Three Percenters. According to reporting by Reuters, it's not just Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, and YouTube that have access to these websites, but at least 10 other companies, including their subsidiaries like Instagram, Dropbox, and LinkedIn, but also others, namely Snapchat, Verizon, Airbnb, and MailChimp. So the war on terror comes home, and all of big tech is in it to help it. But it's a private company, guys.
Private
Private
company,
company,
bro.
so it's okay.
Let Nick take it.
Well-
Always let Nick take it first. He's the guest.
Oh, the first thing, whenever you mention the Proud Boys, the first thing that jumps out at me is the leader of the Proud Boys, that Puerto Rican gentleman, was actually like a legitimate Fed. So there's one, like anytime you have one of these quote unquote far right militias or whatever it is, there are probably like a sizable percentage of the people that are involved in it that are actual FBI agents or CIA agents or whatever it may be. But you said the war on terror is coming home. I think the war on terror has been home even before then. Whenever the NSA scandal broke, way more people should have been angry about that, because they're not only spying on social media websites, but they are spying on your actual phone calls and your text messages and your internet activity outside of just regular old social media. So I think the war on terror has already been home. This was just a revelation that I don't think a lot of people were prepared to hear. You know what I mean?
Right. Jump in, boys. Dogpile them.
I mean, that's completely right. The war on terror, definitely more people should have been more angry at the fact that their government is intruding on their personal life, personal conversations via their phones, computers, whatever. And how a lot of people still nowadays, a lot of people still have to put a Post-it on their laptop camera. And it almost scares me that like a lot of people just put the Post-it on the camera. They don't know why. They just do it.
Just
for
accept
some
that it's
reason.
something you got to do.
Something you got to do instead of something that could be changed.
No.
There you go.
But no,
But-
it's been going on forever. Like Nick has said, it's like the Snowden showed us all. I mean, like when I was in the army, I was dealing with some of that side of the stuff over in Africa and everything like that, and they've been looking at people's shit forever. I mean, I was in a schoolhouse and they're like, don't push this button because if you push this button, you're going to be able to read people's text messages that are in the room next to you. I'm like, Okay, well, we'll just leave that one alone then. But I think the most blatant thing is that now you have the government and these companies actually just blatantly acknowledging that they're working in hand. And that's why people are getting in trouble with like, oh, you can't use that private company argument anymore. What was it? Dave Smith got into it with Reason about that a few days ago. It's like, well, clearly it isn't. If they're merged together, and these corporations are bigger than countries and governments, I mean, you got to adjust your thinking a little bit.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of. I don't really see those as free market entities. The way they have their clause in government, a merger in state and corporate power. That's fascism, according to Mussolini.
I was gonna say the same exact thing, man. It's a textbook definition of fascism. Mussolini. This is a wet dream for those types of people. They didn't have the technology to do that back in 30s Italy, but if they had it, they would have done it.
Yep, no doubt.
This is exactly what they would have been doing. This is exactly what Mussolini would have been calling for. Is for. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I can't do that. I don't have the authority to do that. Hey, Facebook. Hey, Zuck. Hey, all the companies, he would have lined them up and said, you guys are going to do this now. And it's exactly what they did. They pulled them before Congress, and they showed us that they were in the process of getting these companies to spy on us. I mean, we got to see it on Instagram, on Facebook. They posted all the videos for us to see. Jack in front of Congress. Mark Zuckerberg in front of Congress. That's exactly what they were doing.
There's this quote from Mussolini. I don't know if he said it or wrote it in his I don't know if it's called the Fascist Manifesto, but it's one of his many writings. It's something like everything within the state, nothing without the state. And that's kind of what we're inching toward, because you see that there. I don't remember. I had it saved on my phone, but I had to do a factory reset on my phone. But it was a screenshot of this memo they had released, the government had put out, that said for their domestic terrorism action, one of the criteria for somebody who's a domestic terrorist is anti-government. So a libertarian or even a paleo-conservative. They're a good paleo-conservative is anti-CIA. They're anti foreign intervention and that stuff. So that's pretty anti-government, at least in certain aspects. So they are literally pushing it toward everything within the state and nothing without the state. Because if you're anti-government and that makes you a terrorist, then what the fuck does that mean? Right. That means they want everything to be within the state.
Yeah. That's very broad too. Yeah. Anything anti-government, that's not even just us. I'm pretty sure that makes up a lot of other ideals.
It's
even libertarians.
Is Trump saying, oh, that's a bad program, we should privatize or we should do away with it? Are we going to call that anti-government? Well, no, I want to see what Facebook says to that.
Well, Nathan just corrected your quote, your Mussolini quote. It's everything within the state, nothing outside of it, nothing.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Nathan. That's it's yeah. So you got I mean, that's what it is, and that's what they're trying to push for, and it's pretty blatant and obvious. I think I mentioned I made a tweet about this the other day. I was like, I think they're trying for this too early. They're trying for full-on techno-fascism a little bit too early.
We're overplaying their hand.
I think so. We're still 100% human. We don't have chips on our brain. We don't have the Neuralink or whatever. There's nothing about human beings that's different than we were 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, in terms of our organic makeup, right? I think they're trying for it too soon. There are too many different people who are not only are against it, but I just don't think that the technology is there for them to implement this techno-fascism that they are trying to do. And there's enough technology for the underground to kind of fight against it without much issue. I think they're fucking up.
I agree. They're a bunch of incompetent boomers, basically. Right. The Trump administration asked for a backdoor to Signal, and Signal was basically guys, that's literally not how our thing is designed. It's just not possible.
That literally defeats the purpose of our entire platform.
If we do that literally breaks our entire thing.
Yeah, it's the same way that you're if you created an entire if you build something from the ground up via I'm not very familiar with the tech, but cryptography and blockchain library and Odyssey and the whole network that Jeremy Kauffman and his boys have created. It's literally impossible to do certain things that you would otherwise be able to do with Google Chrome or whatever. Again, I'm not familiar enough with the tech to know the details of it or to know the mechanism of how it works. But I know that whenever you have something that's created that way, just like you were saying over there, Mitch, they just don't, like, the CIA is run on a bunch of floppy disks, right? Like they can't advance to certain technologies like SSDs and the better microchips and all that, because they will lose so much data. They will lose so much shit. And now everything is like being held up. It is kind of scary because NASA and all these other companies are, government agencies are like this too, where a lot of them are just kind of held up by the old technology that they started with. And they can't advance to the new one, because you'd have to probably find an article about this. I'm probably getting a lot of shit wrong, so nobody take me seriously. I've had a few beers.
We're gonna have a few more before this is over, so don't worry.
Oh yeah, I know.
Welcome to the Swamp Creatures.
But that's just what I'm getting at there is that is a testament to, they are. I don't want to say they're incompetent, because if they were incompetent, then it'd be over already. But we may have to find another word, because incompetent is close.
I mean, I imagine the situation would probably be like you have like these older Biden, like John McCain types, just first person that pops in my head, who will say something, and then there's probably like this younger person who's in the room who's on their team. It's like, no, guys, that you can't do it that way. That's not how this works.
Probably.
Some kid that's texting and posting on Twitter and is like, "Hey, boomer, that's not how this works."
Well, if you look at all like the nuclear silos and everything, a lot of those launch codes are still done on floppy disk. I don't know if that's really a point of it being harder to hack, or it's just they're that far behind the times. But I don't know.
What kind of security clearance do you have down there?
I don't know, but that idea of it being on I don't know, but that being on floppy disks, that's kind of like, okay, cool. Did they also use duct tape to fix cracks?
I mean, don't you?
That's a $10,000 roll of duct tape. Okay, it's very.
Duct tape is really good at fixing things, Mitch. Don't shit
Gorilla
on it.
glue tape.
Well, I want to add.
Hey, dude, it's the government. I want to put anything past them. They probably do still use duct tape.
I want to add a little more flavor into the conversation, because that wasn't the only announcement that day. So the same day, PayPal announced a partnership with ADL for similar purposes to fight extremism and hate by researching and funding to fight extremism and hate by researching the funding networks of extremist and hate movements. They plan to share that information with policymakers and law enforcement officials, as well as civil rights organizations and other actors in the financial industry, to disrupt, quote, the financial pipelines that support extremist hate movements. So my point is that, they're going further now. It's not just like it's not just big tech companies doing it all on their own. There is some direction from government, and that's the whole plan, is the coordination of it all. And they're not just saying like, you can't post on Twitter, you can't post on Facebook. Now they're saying, like I listed earlier, the other places that have access to this, like Airbnb. You can't, you're not allowed to stay in someone's home, or you're not allowed to have a bank account. You're not allowed to have an Uber, all these people that get depersoned and all this stuff. So it's definitely advancing.
Yeah, Laura Loomer can't even get a freaking Uber.
Right.
Shit, Alex Jones was talking about that on Michael Malice's show.
And with the ADL, like, maybe I'm just being a kid here, but they've lost a lot of credibility in my mind. Remember that one time, Pepe, the frog guy on the internet?
Who's that?
And somebody, it's been spread so many times that one guy makes some racist version of it to get some bumping on 4chan. And ADL calls Pepe a hate symbol. Yeah. They don't have any credibility in my book. So to see PayPal using them as their primary source of what's hateful, what's not.
Well, they don't need credibility in your
Ben
book.
and Jerry's.
Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I was just going to say, like, the problem with this kind of thing, and I think I haven't even seen anybody mention this anywhere, is that who is in charge of this but just a bunch of fucking people who have a job that they probably don't really like. They're going to I know people. Not that I know people, but I know that this has happened to people where they've been placed on a no-fly list because somebody misclicked. Like somebody at the TSA made a wrong click with their fucking mouse. I know a guy who, as last time I spoke to him, could not pass a background check because somebody else with the same name as him had a felony on his record. Not the guy, but somebody else with the same name as him. So like, this is the kind of thing, like just disregarding all the outrage in terms of like a libertarian's perspective. Right. Somebody could just make a mistake and you can be fucked. Even if they just make a mistake, like if they accidentally click on the wrong like just say Duke, they click on the wrong name because you're right next to somebody else who actually did try to kill somebody. They click on you instead of that. Now you can't use PayPal. You can't go to Airbnb. You see what I mean? Like it's just people who are in charge of this shit who are just as fallible as anybody else that could make a mistake. And it's happened before. People have been mistakenly placed on the no-fly list. People have mistakenly been banned from Facebook. People have mistakenly been banned from any social media that you can probably name. So that's like, they're not leaving room for that shit. And it's really, I mean, on top of the outrage of, like I said, from a libertarian's perspective, on top of that, people could just fuck up and be wrong.
You know, you kind of just made me think about that too. And I got to say, I feel like in a way that will play into our advantage in the long run, that the most of these people aren't malevolent by nature, but are just working a regular job and might have those little slip ups. Like in some way that does, I feel like.
Don't attribute malice to what can be easily attributed to incompetence. Isn't that some kind of
Hanlon's razor?
Hanlon's razor. Thank you very much.
It's
I know I can count on you.
And it's really, I feel like it's really easy to understate like how bad it can be to just accidentally, whoops, you can't pass it back. Like, so for me, I'm studying to be a pilot. For the next, every 6 months for the rest of my life, if I fail a physical, if I fail a background check, boom, career's over. I can't be a pilot anymore. You know, I'm
good thing you're a Boy Scout.
Yeah. Dude, I'll tell you what happened to me one time. I was, whenever I was in college, I applied for a job at Target, and that entailed a drug test, a piss test. And they, you know, a couple of weeks went by and I got no word. So I called them and they said I failed the drug test, and I hadn't done anything. They said I failed the drug test. What happened was the people at the LabCorp where you go and do the test, they mistyped my social security number. So my social security number in Target's records did not match with any of the drug tests that they had for their employees. So they just assumed I didn't take the test, which assumes a failure because you're like avoiding the test, right? So it was ultimately a very minor thing that happened to me. But imagine that if it's the fucking ADL getting somebody kicked off of PayPal, like, or Patreon or whatever it may be, and ruining their livelihood. It's an honest mistake. You know, they hit 2 instead of 4 or whatever. You know, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, and I mean they're gonna make it. Sorry, they're gonna. Go ahead.
Sorry, I mean, this was 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago at this point. I went to go get my license renewed or something, and they said, well, we can't renew your license because you have an outstanding warrant in Colorado, and I had never been in Colorado. And wow. I said, wait, what the hell are you talking about? And I start, you know, they look into it and they're like, oh, wait, no, this can't be you because this person, you know, the outstanding warrant on this person was born in like 1958 or something like that. And I mean, again, it was something stupid where they got confused, but you know, like you said, it could be something that wasn't even maliciously done. But I forgot which one of you guys said it. This is ultimately going to play into our hands because it's going to red pill the fuck out of people when they start realizing, you know, that they're going to fuck up and they're going to affect people's livelihoods because they're overreaching. They're 100% overreaching.
Yeah, real quickly. Sorry, Tim. I know you want to say something.
Damn, son.
You just reminded me of just the way you described that was when I was at the gun store not too long ago. I kind of overheard this conversation. This kid looked exactly like the Zoomer meme. I don't know if you've seen that Wojak Zoomer. Like this kid looked like this, like hair and everything. It was insane. But apparently he had bought like this pistol, and he wasn't able to pick it up because the background check, I guess something didn't match that with the DMV, and someone from the DMV had basically mistyped something about his address or some shit. So like this kid was basically being told by them, like, yeah, man, we can't do anything. You have to go to the DMV, go clear all this up, and
yeah,
who knows? Hopefully it red pilled the kid.
Go Rob.
I just want to pause real fast. Joey Ferguson in the YouTube chat. Yes, I am fucking of age. Fuck you.
He says you're drinking girls' beers. He didn't question your age. Go ahead.
Okay,
Robert.
He said, did anyone card
They're not beers. They are girls' drinks, but they're not beers.
It is a woman's drink. It is this generation's Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Also, Joey in the chat was asking about the overreach, how to use this overreach to gain LP seats. So we'll get to that in a second. I just want to not lose my thought real quick. And this kind of is a point for us to stand up as libertarians and even conservatives maybe, because you have government working with big tech right now, accepting money and doing transactions in the form of data, right? And so we no longer have to, argue against it's a private company thing.
Right.
The government is helping these big tech companies, and in a court that doesn't look good for them. Like, this is a good thing for us if you want to look at it in that way. It's a bad thing, of course, but it's a good thing because we can say, hey, why are you limiting speech? Why are you kicking these people off for this kind of speech, this kind of thought, this kind of double think? And with that, we can move forward and say, hey, maybe we can carve out this new area of anti-discrimination law, and that's not something libertarians would look to do, but it's an area to think about. I think you can say, hey, if you can't discriminate against sex, sexual orientation, race, you shouldn't be able to discriminate against political thought. And so I don't want to say codify that in some sort of law, but I say, hey, you're discriminating against half the population, if not more, or a very minority part of the population that believes that you should be able to say whatever you want, and you're helping these companies prevent people from speaking.
Well,
speaking
I would quibble. I would say it's the companies helping the government.
Yes,
More.
it is the companies helping the government, right?
Because it serves
Yes.
serves Facebook no purpose other than the fact that the government's on them. You know what I mean?
Yes, I see what you're saying, but I think what I'm trying to say is they kind of open the door to scrutiny, if you will, by accepting governmental funds and accepting tax breaks and what have you, to say, hey, this isn't just a private company acting. This is a private company acting at the behest of the NSA, the CIA, FBI.
Well, didn't they all get funding when they were starting up from the CIA and the NSA?
Yeah. Some of them sit on boards of
Some.
different governmental agencies.
I mean,
What a surprise.
I
People
do wanna
post
say-
everything about their lives
Right.
and tell you where they are all the time. And
I
nothing
do
going on there.
want to say one thing real quick, because I haven't gotten to speak that much, and I just want to fit this in because I think we're going to move on to another topic really quick. I spoke with an old friend last night who works for a company who kind of monitors social media. And for those of you out there watching this, or who may click on this and watch this, or look at other material kind of like this freedom stuff, and you don't like it on Facebook, or you don't share it because you're afraid that you might get fired or your job taken away from you, that's why we're here. That's why we're speaking out against everything like this, because it's wrong, and you should be able to say what you want, share what you want, and everything like that. So we're doing the work for you. Just keep watching, and if you're brave enough, share it if you can and like it, because we know you're out there. It's just you have work, and you have jobs, and you have kids, and you have all that sort of stuff. Someone shared that with me last night. He was like, I would like and share it, but I can't because they would literally fire me.
Well, let
Because
me
of where he works?
Find
let
someone
me chime
safe
in
to
on
share.
that. The I'm not going to name any names, but the last company I was working for is an extremely liberal Canadian company, and mask mandates and all that. And they were telling me I needed to wear my masks, even though I would walk into stores, because I used to go from one store to another, servicing the whole state of Florida. And they said, you have to wear the mask. And I'd walk into stores, especially in the Panhandle, because the Panhandle is a whole different country than the rest of Florida. But these guys would, be like, hey, take the mask off. And, dead ass serious, hey, take the mask off.
Yes.
I'm not even going to talk to you if you're wearing that fucking mask. And, the first week or so, I was like, shit, I don't want to get fired. Let me test the waters. And I was going around with the mask on. And after that, I was like, fuck this, I'm losing the mask. It's true. Like there's certain things I made my Instagram private last year because I didn't want my views to get out there, because even the light stuff would have gotten me fired, if the wrong person saw it or the wrong person bitched about it.
Well, you're a little rough around the edges for some people rich aroma.
That's why I said even the light stuff.
Yeah, most recently suspended and banned from Twitter today.
Yeah.
You only say light stuff, Richie.
Yeah.
And you're not the only one that's happened to. Like the co-host on the Luchadors of Liberty, shameless plug. My co-host Demetrios, he was driving up and down Florida and went into a rural gas station, walked in with a mask because he's like, I don't know this city, I don't know this town. Clerk looks at him, he looks at the clerk with the mask on. Clerk doesn't have a mask on. He's like, take that fucking shit off right now. That's it. That's the end of the conversation. He's like, don't you come in my store with that. And some stores might be the opposite. And if you're gonna use their services, respect it. That's what it is. But you can't be told what to say or think.
Dude,
And that's what they're doing.
before I forget this point, like I wonder if, because there are a lot of like just lefties and liberals and stuff who are throwing the private company thing against other people whenever they're bitching about masks. They're like, oh, well, what about the shirts and shoes thing? I wonder what those people would say who are so in favor of masks if there was a company that said you are not allowed to wear masks in this establishment. Like, I wonder if they would respect that, and I don't think they would.
Well,
Of course they wouldn't.
Yeah,
we're
I'm
kind
not
of seeing
expecting
that
any...
right now. There's like some restaurant out there that's saying if you're vaccinated, they won't have you.
I was going to bring that up. Yep. Yeah, and they're not reacting kindly, as you might expect.
Hey,
That's interesting.
You
That's
can't
a good,
disagree
that's a good
with
point.
me.
Because it's the same thing about, should you be able to bake the cake, bigot, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Mhm.
None of the fucking liberals or none of the fucking lefties or any of these people who are in favor of forcing this guy in Indiana to bake this person's gay wedding cake. Y'all all know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The same crowds that are doing that shit back then are not, they wouldn't
Yeah.
say the
Well,
private
they're
company
not-
thing that means nothing coming from them.
It's
No.
only
They're
convenient.
not
When they use
consistent.
it, it's going to be convenient for them.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
It's
What if a
like,
bunch of Christian
it's
people
like,
go in there?
Yeah, it's like we're going to be anti-discrimination when it's convenient.
When it's
Okay.
discrimination
Okay,
I dislike. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. They're not consistent. As the resident brown guy, Nick, I know
Hey.
I know you're black.
He's going to fight you for it.
But, I'm surrounded by all these white guys.
Brown.
Hey, but as the resident brown guy, I would just like to say that I like my bigotry to be up front, in your face, and I like them to wave a flag so I know who the fuck I want to deal with or who I don't want to deal with.
Well, yeah,
That's a
it's
good point too.
it's
Wear
like
their hood.
it's like when the black community in Georgia started saying we're not going to allow white people in our like commune or whatever, and libertarians were like, yeah, that was always allowed. Good job. Like that's you can do that. Just let everyone else do what they want to do too.
That was the
Yeah.
whole thing before the whole segregation fight. They all just, you had your own communities. You did your own thing.
Now I will say the logistics of like doing that today, like allowing people to just do themselves and freely associate, might flow over better now than in 1964 when the Anti-Discrimination Act was passed. That
Yeah.
Obviously it would just go over way better now, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think the problem here is like everybody that's saying private company, they're not realizing like there is coordination that's going on here. And, Jen Psaki recently was talking about how they want, like, if you get banned on one platform, they want to ban you on all the platforms. And
Yeah.
when they say things like that, that's not just like a mere suggestion. It's like, if you don't do this, we're going to be targeting your company. And we, the White House, are going to come out here, press conference every day and call you out as bad people, bad actors, whatever the hell. And so that's the direction that things are going. And you guys alluded to it earlier, these subsidies and all this stuff, there's strings attached to that. They don't just give you money and all these government regulations and benefit for no reason. I mean, they're going to and then, you make these mistakes, right? Like we were talking about earlier, people make one mistake, they put the wrong name, they click the wrong button, whatever, and people get banned. If the White House policy goes through, you get banned on all platforms. And Alex Jones talks about this, how even on, the problem isn't so much getting banned from Twitter. The problem is when you get depersoned from everywhere and you're not allowed to respond and you're not allowed to put your version of what happened out there, and they can just say whatever they want about you and make up whatever kind of shit they want. And you have no recourse and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's not just a private company argument anymore. And it's not as simple as go build your own shit. And, further, I'll let you jump in, Nick, but further,
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Well, and then
he's like, I'm over this.
yeah.
No, I don't have.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Now the only other see, now I forgot what I was gonna say, but
I'm sorry, Tim.
That's
Recourse.
okay.
My drunk ass.
It's kind of like the tangled web we weave at this point because all these companies are working together, right? Because even if there is a company that stands out among the pack, it says, "Hey, we're going to allow you to say whatever." Example.
What
not
does
the
this mean
best
for
example,
Minds?
But yeah, Minds, Parlor, and then Apple and Google Play are like, we don't like how you think, so we're not going to allow you on the App Store. So how are you going to get the app? How are you going to have it on your phone?
Well, there's also we also don't know what lengths the government is going to persuade or coerce or threaten these companies to do whatever it is that they're doing.
right.
In essence, they are the mafia, and they use mafia tactics. They assassinate leaders worldwide. They attempt coups everywhere, and so why would it be why would it be beyond the pale for them to call up? I know Mark Zuckerberg is literally in charge of Facebook, but why would it be beyond the pale for them to call up Mark Zuckerberg and say, "Hey, look here, brother, if you don't ban the people we want you to ban, you're fucking," I don't know if he's got any siblings, but let's just say your brother is going to be in a dumpster with his throat slit next week. You know what I mean? Like, and they would definitely do that. You look what they do blatantly out in the open. You think that they wouldn't do that kind of shit? I'm not making any accusations,
Right.
but like, just think about that for a second. I'm just floating the idea out there.
Just
They are
Hey, buddy.
they're literally the mafia, just like they're like the mafia, but way more cringe is what they are.
I
So-
just
so hold on,
I just got a notification that whoever reported our podcast just released their claim on Facebook. So
Reported it for
Wait, we got
accepted-
reported?
They,
You got
they-
reported?
yeah, they reported our podcast on my page, and they disputed. I disputed the claim, and they just accepted it. So like that just happened just now.
reported for what?
Oh,
Nick,
yeah.
who are you
Just
bringing
last-
in here that's going to do?
Last episode we went off
Who's
the rails.
stalking you?
That's just it.
Oh, it's the Faketarians, guys.
Yeah,
it's
Uh,
okay.
But which one?
That-
But which one?
I
Hey, hold
wasn't
on,
gonna bring them up. I
before-
wasn't even gonna bring them up.
Before we
Don't.
get into the Fakertarians,
I'll go
What
back
the
to the
hell?
topic though, because I had something to say about that.
Go.
oh, go ahead.
That was I kind of lost my train of thought though. I lost completely. Like shit.
Shit, me too.
This is why you don't drink.
Maybe it's time for the
That's
next
why you don't
topic.
drink in podcast, kids.
But that's the
Unless you're a
point.
swamp creature.
That's the point, though. It gets worse.
Oh, I remember my point actually. We want to talk about we want to talk about what the government isn't willing to do, and obviously it wasn't the government who did this. But who was the
What?
last person that actually tried to take on the government? Was the Kennedys, and how many Kennedys are there around nowadays? I mean,
One who
The terrible
ran
one.
for something that was endorsed by all the establishment candidates and still lost, and I'm sure he is somewhere out there saying, "You haven't seen the last of me."
Dude, that's a really good Robert Kennedy. Wow.
that's pretty good. That's pretty
good.
good.
Wasn't
I would
sure if it was
also say-
Quimby or not.
That's what I was channeling.
Wow. No, that
Oh.
was like spot on Robert Kennedy. That was good.
I would add to your point, Rich, and also say, even if you're trying to just kind of avoid the government and not be actively against them, i.e. Waco, i.e. Ruby Ridge, they will still come and kill you and then lie about you and slander your name and smear everything about anybody who's ever been involved with you. They are literally they're mafia, but cringe. That's what the United States government is. I can't believe I thought of that just now.
Dude, that's a good one. I like that. Mafia but cringe.
Mafia,
Because
I
they'll-
say-
unbased and
because they
cringe
do
film.
literally all the shit that the mafia does, but on an accelerated level. But they're also like, yeah, we fly the rainbow flag and we're for trans rights. And it's like, oh yeah, fuck you. You just killed 4 South American presidents, because you didn't like how their government was going. But then you march in there with
Mhm.
your rainbow flag. Come on, fuck yourself.
Yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
we can't leave
It's like,
Afghanistan.
it's okay.
Women's
It's
rights.
okay. They're gay bombs.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Women's rights in Afghanistan. That's right. And I'm actually glad that the Taliban won, man. Fuck that shit.
Oh.
There we go.
I don't
Hey,
mean
it
it
might
like-
end the epidemic, the opioid epidemic, because they ain't got those poppy fields no more if the Taliban's
Dude.
got them.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
it's
You
not.
probably know a lot about this, Duke, but that's a big thing. A lot of people don't really know about the poppy fields in Afghanistan. Like 90% of the world's opium comes from Afghanistan, doesn't it?
Right.
Yep.
And the
Hello?
U.S. military was guarding the opium. Like they didn't arrest people. They're like, yeah, Do your thing. Ship it
Nope,
to
never
America.
happened. Never happened.
Yeah.
Rob, you're full of shit.
Sure. You were probably one of them too, huh? Yeah. The
don't know
Taliban
what
winning
you're talking
might have stopped an epidemic, but it definitely didn't stop the goat fucking epidemic. That's I will stand firm.
He's
in
like,
that
You've never experienced goat pussy.
he's like, they asked
Clearly.
him to take us out on
Well-
Facebook, so fuck it. Here he goes.
Well, you know what? The
Hey, at least the guys who love little boys are losing.
Look, yeah, well, the Taliban loves little boys and they're winning, and that's.
But that was the Northern Alliance that did.
No, dude, it was the Afghan police that loved the little boys. If you've
They all do.
Not the Taliban.
I'm sure.
I thought they were
I'm
all
sure
into that
there's
kind
some
of
of them
thing.
too. But if you've read "Fool's Errand" by Scott Horton, he talks about this, where they would like procure young boys for the Afghan police or whatever they were called, the anti-Taliban Afghani forces. And there was an episode where a kid who was like basically a sex slave got a gun and killed a couple of them over it. Yeah,
Mm.
so
Yeah.
it's
for
fucked up what's going on over there, and a lot of it's caused by the U.S. So, like I said, I mean, it's not that I'm glad the Taliban won because I don't like the troops or whatever. Like, I don't want to. I know some libertarians or some anarchists are like, fuck the troops. It's one thing if you join the military and you don't know what you're signing up for. Like, let's face it, the recruiters, they lie. They sell you this dream that's not real. I don't fault anybody for joining the military. Even now, with all the shit that we know, even now, I think that an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old kid who's grew up in poverty and his two ways out are trying to sell drugs or trying to join the military, and he winds up getting deployed and fighting over there. I'm not going to fault the person who joined. I'm faulting the people who are responsible for creating this situation, which is the United States government. So I will never celebrate the death of any American soldiers unless they particularly did something heinous or wrong, just like take it from a non-aggression principle perspective or whatever. But what I'm getting at here is I'm just fucking glad it's over. Or ostensibly over. It may not be yet, but we'll see.
So if it is over, do we give Joe Biden credit for ending Iraq? Because he claims he's going to pull troops out of Iraq as well.
He
Do we
says
give
that,
Joe
but
Biden
put him
we're
credit?
still
somewhere else.
bombing him.
I feel this
Yeah,
sounds like a gut.
no. Okay, I understand he might put him somewhere else, right? But
He's going to put
This
it.
is just
Yeah.
my gut. The U.S. military leaves, Blackwater goes in.
How much of a presence do we have in Iraq right now?
a few
I'm not sure.
thousand.
You're the resident expert. You're supposed to be the smart guy coming in here asking these questions.
Yeah, you say you're not really retarded like the rest of us, but
All I'm saying is, I don't think we need to entertain the question that Joe Biden pulls the troops out. Take a good look at his Secretary of Defense and tell me with a straight face Joe Biden wants to get out of Iraq.
Well, Joe Biden don't know how to change his own diaper, but
Where am
like,
I?
he's being told what to do. Obviously, I mean, that's just that's what I think personally, because he just can't form a complete sentence unless they got him all jacked up on Adderall or cocaine or whatever they do whenever he goes on live TV. But I think it's just overall a good thing, despite the moving around the troops. Yeah.
Well, Mara, you mentioned the Secretary of Defense. I mean, we remember what it took to get him that job. I mean, who just got all the big nuke contracts? I'm pretty sure it was just Raytheon that got all those big nuke contracts. And where did the Secretary of Defense just come from?
Is this
where
Cheney
they
and
are.
Halliburton all over again? Is this what's
No.
happening?
I mean, I always said that Joe Biden was just Dick Cheney with more dementia. That's all he ever was.
Fairly accurate. Fairly
I'm
accurate.
stealing that.
Dude, has there ever been I need to ask some people who are really literate with like actual history, but I don't know that there's, other than post-stroke Woodrow Wilson, has there ever been a president that has been so clearly not in charge, not in control? And I don't know of any, dude. I really don't.
The only one I could think of as the resident history guy on here, and it kills me to say this because he's actually my favorite president. He's Murray Rothbard's favorite president.
Coolidge?
The only argument I've ever heard is Martin Van Buren because
Martin
he
Van
was-
Buren is Murray Rothbard's favorite president? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
go look up the clip. There's a clip where they asked where someone asked Murray Rothbard who his favorite best of the worst. Well, I'm going to say Martin Van Buren. And his argument was you had all the Jacksonian ideas without all the really like pro-war stuff.
Anti-Indian, pro-war.
Yeah. You really didn't have any of that. I actually agree with him, but also apparently, and this was something I learned was Yes, the best president in American history.
Died
That
in
doesn't
30 days.
count.
Beautiful bastard.
But basically, apparently Van Buren, because he was foreign, he didn't know English very well, and supposedly a lot of people tried to take advantage of him because of that. That's the only thing I could think of.
Wow.
All the
okay.
Jacksonians.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, dude. If Jackson hadn't done that, if he wasn't militaristic and
Chill,
anti-Indian, he would have been one of the best presidents of all time. Just for his anti-central banking position alone, in my opinion. You know, just in my estimation.
Those central bankers tried to kill him.
Beating people in the streets, and I mean, he was a bad motherfucker.
Dude, there's a
guys,
story.
I know we're all very much anti-woke and all that shit, but I think it's nice, that the woke community managed to get a retarded president elected. We got to give it up to them, man.
Monumental for
Special
representation.
needs.
Exactly, it's fucking monumental. Cheers.
There was a story I had
no
seen
matter
about Andrew Jackson where there was an English. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting it wrong. Somebody tried to shoot him, and their gun it was a dud round or something.
Yeah, I've heard
And he was old. He was like in his 60s, and he just beat the tar out of the guy with his cane.
The story is even better than that. The story is even better than that. Basically, here's what happened. I don't know if this was one of the guys from the Central Bank of London that tried to kill him or what this guy's story was, but he took out a gun when Jackson had his back turned, pointed at him, shot it, misfired. Took out a second gun in case this happened. Tried to shoot it again. Misfired. Nothing happened.
That's
then
great.
Jackson turns around, realizes what's going on, just starts wailing on the guy with his cane.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that is awesome. That is
Yeah,
awesome. I don't know much about Jackson, but that's a fucking boss move right there. You just start beating him with the cane at 60 years old back in the 1800s.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't make 60-year-olds like they used to.
He also was whenever he was a kid, there was an English he hated the redcoats. He fucking hated the English so bad. And part of it was because whenever he was a kid, he was like 11 or 12, he was a preteen, and an English soldier like demanded him to shine his boots. And when he said no, the soldier slashed at him with his sword, and he blocked it with his hand, but he got a scar across his face because it nicked him a little bit, but he had permanent scar across his hand from it too. So Jackson was like, he was a tough, they called him Old Hickory for a reason. He was a bad motherfucker. He was not the best person ever. Obviously the Trail of Tears and the bullshit, but he was really
Native
fucking,
Americans.
yeah, he was really fucking based, really.
I mean, he's got to be a legend now from where you're from there, Nick.
There's a statue of him
Bad in New Orleans.
Yeah, there's a statue of him in the French Quarter in New Orleans. I'm surprised it hadn't been taken down yet. With the
Don't give them ideas.
You're right.
Speaking of
They don't play
statues,
that shit down
Is
there.
that Jackson Square in New Orleans?
The French Quarter. Maybe it's Jackson Square. I'm not sure. I'm not very. I've only been in New Orleans like twice.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he's from the middle of
Surprisingly-
nowhere, Louisiana.
New
Yeah,
Orleans
quite
is
literally.
not popping right now. In the middle of summer, I had a friend. He sent me a picture of New Orleans, French or Bourbon Street at 2 a.m. during the summer, completely empty, and it absolutely blew my mind. But speaking of statues, did anyone in this chat see this video that kind of spread around last week? They have a statue of either Stalin or Lenin in Seattle. Is it Lenin?
Yeah, Lenin.
In
Yeah,
Washington.
Lenin.
Wow.
Like, why not tear that statue down? I don't care if you put blood on the statue, on his hand. Like, there was blood on the hands to just symbolize how many people he killed and shit. But, like, just tear that down instead of tearing down these other statues. Like,
No,
why is your
he was
focus-
compassionate. He
Mm.
wanted to share everything, Rob.
It was
Yeah,
Stalin that came around and ruined everything.
The
It was all Stalin.
the left is just misguided. The right is evil. The left is just misguided. They just make honest mistakes. The right, they're just bad people, right?
After
It
you
wasn't
make an honest mistake
It
about
wasn't real
5 to 10
socialism.
times, yeah, you make an honest mistake 5 to 10 times, it's not a mistake anymore.
Yeah, you're just a
It was
piece of
a-
shit at that point.
That was the
It's a
point.
definition of yeah.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
I
you.
understand.
That's
I
the
understand.
joke. That's the joke. Thank you.
Fuck you! I'm like 5 drinks in. There's a 2-drink minimum. I've been moving all day.
You're
so
a
I'm
college
just-
man. You should be able to drink more than that.
I ain't no
you
college man. I done graduated.
You graduated like last
you
week,
did?
bro.
Yeah, but you haven't passed all your tests yet.
Yes, I
Nick,
did.
all right, so-
Yes, I did. Yes, I took.
You did?
I took my last test
Yes.
like 2 days ago, and I had
3
to
days
move.
ago.
I had to move to the
So,
Florida Panhandle away from everybody. So
you're
I'm
gonna be
here.
a dirty ass lawyer one of these days. huh?
Alabama.
So real quickly,
I will sue you so fucking fast, Duke. Oh my
Not a real
god,
lawyer.
dude. I will sue you for talking shit on Twitter. That's what I'm gonna do.
so
Prove
with
it.
Lennon, it was somewhere between 10,000 and 100,000 mistakes.
Oh,
damn, bro.
Ain't nothing. That's child's play, man.
That's a hot take.
All right, Nick, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Why do you deny the Armenian genocide, and why are you planning to do it again?
It's in my blood.
Oh damn!
Fucking Turkish.
All the hash just made you do it, huh?
You're Turkish.
I'm actually not. It's a bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
I wish every.
Kayfabe.
You're not
Yeah.
supposed to give away. You're just like revealed how the trick is done. You're not supposed to do that.
Who? Me or Nick?
No, Nick, you're not supposed to reveal the truth. You're just supposed to go along with it forever.
Stop
I
telling him
would've
what to
bought
do.
it.
He's our guest.
People know. The thing is everybody
Status.
everybody has a different. People think I'm very many different ethnicities. Like
Oh, you
people,
look like a
I've
white
been
boy to
told.
me.
Your
I've
face
been
is very
told-
ambiguous.
Yeah, I've been told I look Puerto Rican, or it's a combination of looks and accent. Some people tell me I sound like I'm from South Florida. I've been told I look like I'm Greek. I look like I'm Turkish, Middle Eastern, like Arab. We'll break it here. I've already said this numerous times, but I'm actually mostly Italian. That's what it is. But once you get over to that area of Europe, it all
mixed
kind of
together.
Mediterranean, even toward the Middle East. It's all very similar.
Turn to the
Or
right,
Eastern
please.
Europe, rather, not Middle East. I'm sorry, Middle East, Mediterranean area, and like Eastern Europe. Turn to the right. Actually, I have a big fucking nose, dude.
Yeah, do you got the right snot? I mean, it's
I have a
You
big
got the
nose.
like the
shots.
bump.
People
The
think I'm
bump tells
Jewish.
the difference between the Jew or the Italian. It's the bump right here, because we used to give
Yeah.
my buddy
the
D'Angelo
hook.
shit all the time. Yeah, it
it's-
is.
But
It
it's,
is.
it's mine is not. It's true
No, no.
Italian.
It's prominent.
But yeah, people think I'm Jewish too. I mean, even I've had Jay from Slurp Gang told me that I am the Jewiest non-Jew he's ever spoken to, which based on the way that I sound and the way that I look.
Oi.
So yeah, I'd never, like, the funniest part about this is, like, I never thought I would be the guy who was ethnically ambiguous, but apparently I am. I thought it was pretty clear that I'm just like, I have no idea.
Some white dude.
Well, I think it's because of brown hair and black facial hair. That's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, it's the beard because every single one of those ethnicities that you counted out, I was like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. Yeah,
And-
that's definitely yeah.
Shit, when I was out in Thailand for a while, and they kept telling me that I was Arabic or something, and I was like, "No, I'm Puerto Rican," and they're like, "What the fuck is Puerto Rican?"
Hey,
You do look a little terroristy.
Josh is hopping in here for a second.
Josh,
Hello,
Josh.
Josh.
Good to speak to
Don't
you,
even have
brother.
a space for him on the graphic.
Yeah. Well,
Well, it wasn't
Glitch.
planned.
yeah.
What up, Josh?
Hold on now, because I don't have any way to put him on the screen.
Whatever
But
he's.
it's okay. They can hear him though. They can hear him though, right?
Can you
His
hear him?
phone is
Say
at
something,
like.
Josh. Did you just pound a bottle?
Bro, I'm on like my fifth, sixth, seventh fucking drink.
He's at a. You're at a wedding, Josh.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
He
Yeah, I
sounds
see.
like
you.
a
I
Jersey
can tell you're in a
boy now.
suit. Yeah, you sound like you're drunk. What's up, brother? It's good to speak to you. Josh Valka, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. How you doing, bud?
What's up, dude?
What's up, man? How you doing? Base King motherfucker.
Thank you, man. I'm doing great. Having a good time.
Fuck little B. You're the Base King now.
Well, he was the base god. I'm the base king. And apparently my dad came in. Did y'all see whenever he did the Tower Gang with Dave Smith the other day?
Yes.
My dad
Yeah,
came
yeah.
in. They were here helping us pack. My dad came in and he was like, I gave him the headphones and he said, whenever he's around y'all, he could be the king, but as long as I'm around, he's just the prince. So
There you go.
I changed my name
saw
on
that,
Twitter
yeah.
to Prince Nicarus.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that.
Gangster.
Dude, I don't want to do this. I see multiple of y'all have left, but I gotta piss really bad. I'll be right back.
No, take it.
Go
Take it.
for it,
Take
go
this,
for it.
take this.
We're just
I
gonna.
went to
I'll
piss
put
and
Josh.
grab,
Josh,
like,
you're gonna pretend to be
water.
Nick Ashley now. There you go. You're on his side.
Yeah.
I
have more stuff to go on. I
No,
want to
no, that's
go into
fine.
the vaccine stuff because we got like an hour left. So I want to hit the vaccine stuff, and then we hit the grand debate that he wasn't expecting.
Mhm. That's fine.
Well,
Your mic cut out.
I don't want to talk about anything without
You
him.
got more robot aids going on over there, Josh.
That's right, robot aids.
How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? How are y'all going?
2 drinks. How many drinks is everybody in? You guys good right now?
1.5.
Dude,
1.5.
Cuatro, mi amigo.
I'm at about right here on my second drink.
Oh shit!
So, Robert, tell us the story. What happened? Somebody reported us on Facebook. Did we get banned on Facebook? Because I haven't checked yet.
What do we
That
get?
was just right after we stopped filming on the second episode. I got a notification on Facebook saying someone reported the episode on Facebook, and as we were live recording,
What?
Fuck that guy.
I don't know. No, it was a woman. I disputed it. I disputed the claim, and or I don't even know if I
It
disputed.
was a woman?
I don't even know if I disputed. Let me check my notifications, but it said that she waived her claim. So
Was she angry about our abortion discussion?
Dude, I got the email actually. It says Aditya Movies accepted
Aditya
your
Movies.
dispute.
Yes, yes.
They accepted the dispute. So that's whoever from Facebook it was working on the dispute. So yeah, you must have disputed it.
Okay.
We win. Woo!
Yeah.
It was about abortion, wasn't it? You know, it was my
Probably.
stupid out comments.
So I also talked to a friend of mine, and they watched the clip, and they were like, okay, so they weren't paying attention to the first part of the clip where we were answering a question from the chat about abortion, and they were like, it's just like seven guys talking about like how a woman should choose to do with her body.
Is that what the complaint was?
No. That was
Stay in your
All
lane.
these fucking white guys
No.
Talking about abortion. What? And them.
No, stop. That was not the complaint. That was another like criticism that I got, which made sense. But it's like we were answering a chat, so it's different when we were just answering a chat.
I was just saying that
a chat that a female asked us.
Right.
Apparently it was some girl that asked us that.
Mhm.
But I mean, if she asked 7 guys, what the fuck does she expect us to do?
Mhm.
I mean, they heard like we're all about abandoning if they want to abort, so it's all good.
Now, I have a question. This is so we can move on real quick, but this is related to the abortion topic. So, would you consider a guy who leaves a woman who he impregnated and she had the child, if he leaves, is he technically exercising his choice to like not have the baby? Like you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, I'm not out. I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah,
So just like the woman, she's like, I'm not having the baby. He's like, I'm out.
We talked about it on the podcast. That was a question that happened, like the right to abandon. That was the joke he was making, and we were like, yeah, you're a piece of shit if you do that, but you know, it can't compel you to stand around and be a bad dad. Yeah.
Just
it can't be
clarifying
just
that.
one person has the right of choice. You know, everybody has to have the right to choose what they want to do.
We can move on. I just wanted to solidify. I just wanted to solidify that we weren't just bringing up abortion for the sake of bringing.
Yeah, let's move on before this one gets reported too.
All right.
So what I'm hearing is that most of us are pro coat hanger and the other half are pro shop vac.
Damn, son.
Shop vac.
All right. So the other story that we had to cover is basically it all centers around. It's all going to lead to anyway. De Blasio saying that the voluntary phase is over, and so we're starting to see vaccines not only become encouraged or incentivized, but now they're becoming mandated. So earlier this week, the Department of Veterans Affairs became the first major federal agency to require healthcare workers to get the COVID-19 vaccine. VA employees will now have 8 weeks to get vaccinated, presumably otherwise they would be fired. Yesterday, Biden announced further federal incentives, such as companies being reimbursed if they offer their employees paid time off to get vaccinated. And that includes their families, too. I don't have that written down, but that is in there. He also called on state and local governments to encourage vaccinations by offering people $100 to get vaccinated using the money that they received from the American Rescue Plan. In the same press conference, Joe Biden also announced that federal workers were going to be required to be vaccinated. They would have to attest and basically say that they've been vaccinated. If not, they would be subject to all sorts of restrictions, including like their commutes to work. They wanted them to wear masks. They wanted them to social distance. They wanted them to get regular testing, all this stuff. And it's not just government employees. It's also government contractors that they wanted to extend these to. And then, of course, the famous clip, which I'm guessing everybody here has seen already, that de Blasio basically said the voluntary phase is over. We need to start mandating vaccines. I don't know if that means going door to door yet, but
If the voluntary phase is over, it was never voluntary.
It was
Yeah. And also,
That's not how that works.
I want to touch on the federal contractors. Like, a lot of people just think, oh,
I got to pee.
a toilet broke at a building that happens to be owned by a state. We got to get some guy in to fix it. Yeah, technically that would be a federal contractor if it was a federal government building. But let me tell you, I at one point I worked for a tree service, just try to make some money a couple of years back. And down here in Florida, a big part of all the tree services is that you spend basically during all of Florida's hurricane season, like half, if not 3/4, sometimes even all of your crew is solely just going wherever FEMA tells you to go, and you're just picking up sticks, other crap that's fallen, and that's being federally contracted. That's not easy. That's tough work. Like, you're not just sitting there on a crane all day. No, you're picking up logs, you're making piles. I could not fathom doing that in a fucking mask all fucking day. And it's 7 days a week, sunrise to sunset, no exceptions unless you're in the hospital. It's insane.
We're talking.
And this is hurricane season, so we're talking about middle of Florida summer.
Yeah, it's hot.
The thing that I think that's kind of funniest about all these mandates that they're trying to come out is it seems like the public sector unions might be the ones to like save us from them, because you get the postal workers coming out and saying fuck no, and you just have the like largest firefighters union come out and say fuck no. It's like, of all the things that'll stop the fucking federal vaccine mandates are coming in, it might be public sector unions of all things.
Well, that's a good, like, I'm not like, this might be a controversial stance, but I believe in your right to unionize, just not you can't be forced to unionize. Yeah, you can't be forced to unionize.
Kick them out.
And I hate
Kick them out.
I hate that I have to reference this guy, but Stefan Molyneux actually made a really good point about unions a long time ago. Unions were better back in the day when they acted sort of as a seal of approval in a way. Like, this is someone good to work for. These are good people who will provide you good things. They provide a good product. Somewhere down the line, it turned into just a pure power grab.
Yeah, well, and that's what they're doing now. So now they're going to start pushing for, it's not voluntary anymore. Now it's mandated. We talked about, Kentucky got in a lot of trouble because they brought up vaccine passports and having to wear a badge on your arm. But, they're making NFL players wear wristbands now to indicate that they're not vaccinated. So, like, this shit is happening. And if it's not going to be, like, actual force, it's going to be public pressure. Go ahead, Nick.
And from our inside source, they're making the vaccinated players wear the wristbands because they were like, making the unvaccinated players wear the wristbands kind of looks bad.
Oh, did I get that wrong? Yeah. Go ahead.
No.
Well, no, originally they said
you
it.
didn't get
Yeah,
wrong.
because I remember that too. Because my thoughts first turned to the Kentucky,
Exactly.
the Kentucky LP tweet where they were like, "All right, the vaccine passport's going to be sewn on our shirts, shaped in a star, 6-pointed star." But crap, I totally forgot what I was going to say.
The vaccinated wristbands.
No, that's a great point. That's what it is. But they're
I
trying to
was going
avoid
to say
that.
they don't even, the fucking thing, they don't even work that well.
Vaccines, yeah.
Like, and I actually posted this question on Twitter the other day. Does anybody remember ever there being a vaccine? And the only answer I got was the yearly flu vaccine, which is kind of a similar deal, but where it's known, and even still, I bet the flu vaccine is way more effective in preventing you from contracting and spreading the virus than the corona vaccine is.
How many people in this podcast right now are getting pressured by your families to get the vaccines? Families, loved ones, friends.
None. I don't have it. I don't have it.
I'm one of them.
Ugh.
I'm one of them. Look, and my parents are both in medical. The
Just
medical
lie.
industry. Yeah, I mean, no.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the thing is, like, they're saying to me, like, the people who are dying, like actually dying, if you get to that point, the 1%, the 0.00, however many percent, the vaccine is helping people who get bad. It's making them not die. But it's not stopping them from spreading. It's not stopping them from catching the Delta variant. It's not very effective. So my thing is, like, okay, I don't even take the flu shot. I've never gotten a flu shot. Never really had the flu.
You can't.
Neither
compare
have
it to
I.
the flu.
Same here, dude.
Yeah.
I've never had the flu shot. I don't think I've ever had the flu.
I just want to
Same.
take my chances, and the only reason I would get the vaccine is to travel. Other countries have their policies. I can't really do much about that, but I really wouldn't want to take the vaccine.
Can I say I've already had COVID?
No.
Yeah,
My
I've
wife-
already had it too. But
My wife
the
and
thing
I
is-
had it.
So
and
the Delta
bad-
variant, does it really like affect you if you've had the regular COVID?
They don't
and you
know.
catch the Delta.
The truth is, they don't know whether the vaccine protect. They don't even know who's getting the quote unquote Delta variant. They don't have. They can test for it if they do like the sequencing of the virus itself from a symptomatic person, but they don't do that for a regular old test. If you catch the test, if you get the virus and you get tested and it's positive, they don't know whether you have it, whether you got the Delta variant or you got the plain old COVID-19.
It's just some kind.
They don't fucking
Could have
know.
gotten
And
the Ligma variant.
And why don't we call it the 7-Eleven virus? Like, I don't understand. Like, it came from India. We were going with the Kung flu, and now we stopped. Like, just call it what it is. It came from India. That's what I'm saying.
And
That Dragma variant that'll get you.
I got it, and both my wife and I had very similar symptoms, other than that she lost her taste and smell way more than I did. She like couldn't taste or smell at all. Mine was like sort of diminished. Same thing happened to two other couples I know. The guy
Could you smell and could you not smell but taste?
No, I could smell and taste, but it was like dulled. She couldn't smell or taste at all. Same thing happened to two other couples I know. The guys in both of these couples, they could still smell and taste. It was just kind of dulled, but the girls lost it altogether. And my wife is still having weird shit where stuff doesn't taste right still. And we had it in December, just this past December. But the virus itself, whenever we both had it, it was, without exaggeration, every single cold, like the seasonal common cold I get, has always been worse. Like, I always get a bad sore throat. I always get real bad body aches. I always get a fever when I get the common cold. Corona, I had that shit. I was like, wow, I can't believe this is it.
We're
I
shutting
had,
the
like-
world down?
This is what we're
No.
freaking out about?
And
Well, no, I had it as well. Yeah, and I
But
lost all
for
my
some
sense
people
of
it's
smell and
different.
taste. Yeah,
Some people it's
and I lost
different.
my smell and taste. But the only thing that, like, the major thing was, I had a lot of like neurological symptoms. I had tons of migraines because of it. And I couldn't like think straight. But other than that, it just felt like a regular little cold.
Yeah.
But it just, I was sitting at a sushi restaurant and I'm like, oh, I can't taste the wasabi. I'm like, oh fuck, something's going on here. And then I went and got the test the next day. You know.
Yeah, if you can't taste the wasabi, then you're.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of was. The,
I knew
Definitely.
I had it when I could not smell weed, candles, and coffee. I was like, oh, something's definitely wrong, but I could still taste. It was kind of like how Robbie the Fire described it on Part of the Problem. He was like, I could not smell, but I could taste things. That's
I'm
what I
probably
had.
going to tempt fate here. My roommates have had COVID for the past week, and somehow I have dodged it entirely. Either that or
you're not
I'm
making out
asymptomatic.
with them enough.
dude, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You may have fucking had it already, dude. Like, you saw the study. The study came out of Germany where they like researched with like tens of thousands of people, and a decent like 40% of them had the COVID antibodies, but never even knew they had COVID.
Yeah,
Really?
It's like, yes.
yeah. Most people don't even know they have it.
I don't know about most, but a lot of people don't even know they have it. And most people, like the vast majority of people that get it, have a similar thing that happened to me and my wife. The worst part about it is her fucking taste. and smell. She still doesn't smell and taste stuff right. It's a weird virus. It's very weird. And
novel, I guess you could say.
Almost like
knowing
it's
that it's
designed.
knowing that it's coming. Like, look, dude, the thing about it is now we can say this now that it's kind of accepted in the mainstream, but knowing that it came from this fucking lab in Wuhan, simultaneously there were things coming out where people were talking about giving people meat allergies so that we could cut back on factory farming. Like, it's fucking strange, and I'm really suspicious. Like, I'm not really a conspiracy guy that much, and
Tinfoil hats.
compared to some people I may be a conspiracy person, but like, yeah, we've had people, because my wife doesn't, chicken tastes like garbage, eggs taste like garbage to her. I haven't had this issue, but like, her taste is like way fucked right now. Hopefully it gets better.
No, I kind of agree to a certain extent, because my taste kind of changed. It's kind of like as you get older, you develop a like for certain foods that you hated when you were a kid. Like, I never really liked sweet tea, and growing up in the South, that was weird. I really like sweet tea now. I don't know why. Chicken kind of tastes bad right now for me. And it's been since then. And
How long ago did you have it?
October last year.
Yeah, see, we had it in December, and she still doesn't taste eggs or chicken. It tastes. She says it tastes terrible. It just tastes gross.
And some things are a little different, and I'm like, it's barely noticeable though.
It's weird that you say that it's your wife that has had that, because the people that I've talked to the most that have had the lingering effects from the smell and the taste have all been women.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. The same two,
Yeah.
the two other couples I know. Same thing,
Yeah.
dude. It's weird. It's very, very strange.
So
The Chinese don't like women.
I mean, that would explain the one kid policy and all
COVID fucking shrinks your feet.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, I like how they
Lined them up.
Yeah.
I like how they went back on that policy, and they're like, "Oh, we fucked up because now we have 70% dicks in our country," and it's kind of like,
Yeah, they got to get all their pussy from North Korea.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
"Oh, bro, that's like 3 generations harsh." That's like, bro.
Hey, so last year during the summer, I spent like a week, and I was probably like 3 days in before I even fucking noticed anything. Because last year during the summer, I was super fucking busy at work, and I was probably like 3 days in, and I was like, "That's weird. This pasta doesn't taste like anything, whatever I was eating at the time." And that was the only symptom I got. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything because everybody's going to want to stay the fuck away from me. Like, if my girlfriend's going to catch it, she sleeps in the same bed with me. She's going to end up catching it.
It's meant to happen.
But I just stayed the fuck away from everybody else. I didn't get close to like her parents or anything like that for that week. But it was just 1 week that I didn't taste or smell a damn thing. And then it just went away. And like you said, it's weird that, the symptoms are just so different between each person. But I didn't say a damn thing to anybody. And I mean, that was the only symptom I got. And to this day, I still don't know if I actually had it or not.
You probably did.
Probably.
If you go donate blood plasma, it'll tell you if you have the antibodies.
Yeah, I donated blood a little bit ago. From what I could tell from it, no, I've never had it. I mean, even then, my parents still gaslit me into getting it, into the vaccine. But yeah, I never had it. There's one point I was on a dive trip for a week in Key Largo, beautiful place to dive, and I was, really tired. I couldn't taste, and I was like, "Fuck, guys, I fucking got it. I gotta call this dive center. They're probably gonna go out of business from having to shut down for 2 weeks." Went and got tested. No, turns out I had just gotten too much sun over like 4 to 5 dives a day for like a week straight, compared to sitting
is that
inside.
like vitamin
But
D
you couldn't
poisoning?
smell.
I think that might have just been the fact that our yardstick was sour Skittles, which just tastes like sugar. They don't taste like anything.
That's just weird because like whenever I stopped smelling something, I was like, "Oh shit, I've never not smelled in my life."
I don't know. I was like, that's not the right word. I had bad allergies as a kid, so I've gone without my sense of smell for a very long time.
That's funny though, Robert. You mentioned like the giveaway for you was that not smelling. Like every time I get a cold, my taste and smell is diminished. It's just my nose is already bad, and like smell really contributes to how you can taste things.
But it's clogged, right? Like it's clogged.
Well, no.
It's
Here's the thing, dude. Whenever this is what I was gonna say, that this was the giveaway for me that I had not just a cold. Every time I have a cold, I have a really bad sore throat, and I have my nose is just gone. I can't breathe out of it a lick. It's completely clogged up. Whenever I had COVID, I could breathe through my nose just totally fine. The only problem was it like my nose, my nasal passage is like burned. Like,
oh shit! Yes, finally, yes, me too.
but I
like
could
up,
breathe,
like up here, like in the top, in the very top.
It burned, yes, and it was like it wasn't like terribly unbearable, but it was annoying.
You're the first person who said that. It's the same thing that happened to me.
Yeah, so I knew I had it and not just a regular cold because it was in December, which is about, I get sick in the winter. That's just a normal thing for me every year. But I knew it wasn't a cold when I was like, I don't have a sore throat. It's kind of scratchy, but my nose is not bothered at all. But if I breathed really, really like a real good breath, it would burn a little bit in my chest. And I had the highest my temperature ever got was 100.4, which is not even technically a fever. That's like a low grade fevers. But I knew I had it when I did because the symptoms were so different from me catching a cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we were talking about these government mandating vaccines and all this stuff. It's not just them. Now the private companies are starting to require vaccines as well. Disney just announced today that all of its salaried and non-union employees currently working on site are required to be vaccinated within the next 60 days. And those working from home, they too will have to provide proof of vaccination before they're able to return to work. And of course, anybody who wants to get a job needs to be vaccinated before they can start working. So, the libertarians are going to be like, it's a private company, bro. You can't, if the company wants to require vaccines, that's the way it has to be. But, this is kind of like what we were talking about before. Like, it started off voluntary. Then the government started mandating it for the areas that they had control over. Now they're putting pressure on other companies to do the same thing at their companies. So what should the response be? From my point of view, everybody should just say, fuck you, we're not going to do it. But, a lot of people are just going to comply. And so what happens when you can't get a job because you're not vaccinated?
But I wanna point out from what you said, Disney specifically said salaried and non-union employees. They're going out of their way to avoid the people who they think might have a standing chance of pushing back against them. Yeah. They want to make very sure to not include those guys. Because if they do, they might get pushback. And that just shows like, wow. So I feel like this is completely over optics then. If they're just going to take off like a whole section of their employees, exempting them from it. No, this is just about optics. They don't actually give a shit.
Well, my thing about, you said something about libertarians saying it's private company. And the thing that bothers me about it is, damn well, nobody at Cato, nobody at Reason, none of the fucking lolberts who always cry private company, right? None of them would ever accept a violation of bodily autonomy and self-ownership for other things that were, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we were talking about abortion earlier. It's like exactly the same thing. They would never say like, you can't force me to have or not be allowed to have an abortion. But when it comes to vaccines, all of a sudden, like, we have to do it because you're endangering everyone else.
And the argument would be, well, this as a, you could spread the virus. Well, right. I don't have the virus. I don't have it. This is guilty until proven innocent. I don't have the fucking thing. I can't spread something I don't have, motherfucker. That's part of civil libertarianism, like civil liberties. Innocent until proven guilty is a big, very important, like civil libertarian position that somehow America has managed to maintain despite all the bullshit we've gone through over the past 250 years. Somehow we've maintained innocent until proven guilty. Now it's going away. Sick until proven healthy is guilty until proven innocent. I don't have the fucking virus. I can't spread it. Why are you telling me to get a goddamn vaccine for something that I don't even have the fucking thing?
Bro, like that was an amazing, like, if you can repeat that quote real quick, because you just You
Oh, we
just
got
blew
it
my mind.
clipped.
You just blew my
Sick,
mind.
You're
honestly.
got it
demanding
clipped?
too much.
Fuck David.
Just rewind
Like,
the tape later.
like you gotta clip that. Like sick until what did
Sick
you
until
say?
proven healthy is fucking guilty until proven innocent.
That is amazing. That
Yeah.
is a term.
I
of
didn't
art.
come up with that. I saw it somewhere. But
You'll
It
take
doesn't
credit for it,
matter.
it's fine.
Trademark it, man.
Like-
Run with that.
it makes it people's ideas of how things work have flipped on their fucking head because of this shit. And it's like the reality is it's not that bad of a virus. People are acting like it kills people are acting like it kills half of the percentage, half of the people it hospitalizes, and they're acting like it hospitalizes half of the people that catch the fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a thing where because of media propaganda, because of fear mongering and stuff like that, there was this thing where a large percentage of people that consider themselves to be liberal thought that over 1,000 unarmed black people were killed a year by police. And the number is like in the double digits. It's not even 100.
Yeah.
So if you ask the man on the street today, and this is why I don't buy the private company thing, and this is why I don't. The government and the CDC has created a disproportionate fear of this virus that's really, in truth, not that much worse than the flu. In fact, I would argue it doesn't even kill kids. So it's not even as bad as the flu. Yes, it kills old people. Once you get above 70, once you get above 65 maybe, the death rate jumps up by a sizable amount. Like up until 65, the death rate of like a 65-year-old person is probably, I don't remember what the number is. Let's just say 1%, just for effect. Above 65, it may be 5%. It is a very sizable jump above 65. Here's the thing. The flu
Dude,
kills
everything jumps up at that point.
That's true too. Yes, the flu does that too. But it does not kill people under the age of like 18. Like there's been like 300 total deaths. And I guarantee you all of those were diabetic or had leukemia.
Major
something like that.
comorbidities.
Yes.
So-
Major health problems.
Exactly.
So here's a question. I saw this brought up at a council meeting. Forcing children to wear masks in public schools, is that a form of child abuse?
Fuck yeah, it is.
I
Child-
hesitate
yeah.
to use the
Yeah.
word child abuse, or at least an
No.
illegal.
Me too.
definition, but
I do
yeah.
too, Mara.
Yeah. It's a travesty, because what are we trying to teach kids in schools on paper? Sure, it actually turns them into factory workers, but more so, we're trying to teach them to be good human beings. We're trying to teach them how to interact with each other, get a feeling of empathy, right?
And you need those facial
Well,
expressions
Mara,
to
we
doing?
interact.
Well, no, here's the thing. I want to say one thing. Be brutal with your language. Say it's child abuse. Say it's evil, because they are evil. The people who are implementing these policies are evil, and they need to be told. And people that are a third party that somebody looking from the outside, they need to see you saying these people are fucking evil.
Like this
Right.
is a war.
Amen. Amen. Let me just chime in on that.
Yeah, of course.
And actually, let me back it up a little bit, because Tim, you asked what the answer is to private companies and all that. And if you ask me, the answer is fucking civil disobedience.
100%.
And if that means, getting a fake COVID passport, fucking go do it.
Yep.
If that means, fun fact, if you know a firefighter, if typically at fire stations, even they're doing the free vaccination. So if you know a firefighter who just, so happens to be against, the bullshit that's going on, chances are that guy will give you a shot.
So I'm just
And-
going to point this out for everyone. If you go on DHgate, I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's like the better version of the Wish app. Things seem to come a lot more quickly than the Wish app.
It's
On
Chinese owned company, right?
DHgate, there's people selling blank versions of those vaccine cards that they give out when you get the vax.
Well,
This
didn't
is a
Ryan?
Film out.
Chinese company, correct? DHgate.
I think so, but either way, they're selling them.
Well, wasn't Ryan offering us all fake
Let us
vaccine
start
passports
with-
before the convention?
I don't even think we
Yeah,
did
let's not talk about that on here, but
I don't even want to do that. like I don't even want to go through the trouble. I don't want to go through the hassle. I don't want to deal with any of that shit. When I go into a place and they tell me
Just
that I
leave me
need to wear
alone.
a mask, I tell them no. I'm not going to wear a mask. If you don't want me to give you my business, then I'm just going to go somewhere else. If I work for a top 500 company, it's a pretty big trucking company. If they, and I've had this conversation with my wife. She's like, "Well, what are you going to do if they require vaccines?" Because we have these conversations, and she says, like, they're requiring vaccines at all these other.
You
major
talk to your
truck-
wife?
Yeah, I talk to her all the time.
That's fucking ridiculous,
Dude, you have to. You have to.
You
have to,
get her opinion?
You have to put your order in for the
What?
sandwich, and the transaction there is I don't have to pay money for the sandwich, but I do have to have a personal relationship. But
Are you saying your wife makes you a sandwich because she's a woman? Like, come on.
I am the breadwinner. Okay,
You
so-
The
sexist.
breadwinner.
We're above this.
So my point is,
Yes, Tim.
my point is that if the company asks me to go get a vaccine or something, I'm not going to go try to get a fake vaccine passport. I'm going to raise a fucking stink about it and make them basically tell me like I have to have the vaccine. Michael, or was it Michael Mouse? It was somebody made this point recently. Or no, it was Robbie on Josh's podcast. He was saying that if the company is going to require you to get a vaccine, then they should take responsibility for any liability or any damages that are caused to you from the vaccine. If the company call them out on their own terms and make them like going around this back channel bullshit. Like I'm going to get a fake passport and all this stuff. It's fine. It's edgy. It's cool. It's whatever. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to fuck around. Like, and everybody else, if everybody else took that stance, then I'm not saying I'm better than you. But we would be in a better place.
There's some people, unfortunately, that aren't in that position, and I'm with you. I'm in sales.
care. Find a
I could
way
walk
out of
into
it.
any dealership and get a job, pretty much across the entire state. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that aren't in that position. They kind of rely on a specific means of income. They might have a family or whatever, and they have to rely on that. And for those people specifically, I say, you know what, go and get a fake one. I may or may not know somebody that'll get you a fake one, but go and get a fake one if you absolutely have to go that route.
I'm gonna
But
let Nick-
absolutely
I'm gonna let-
create a stink, get in people's faces, and like Nick said, be an asshole about it. Get in their fucking faces because this is bullshit.
Well, I feel you I really feel that, Tim, because it's the same thing with the boating accident about your guns.
Dude,
It's
Rich
like,
is all about that. So yes, yeah.
why are you like? I'm tired of pretending. That's not the point. The point's not to pretend. I get you. I totally feel that. Like, it's not. You don't pretend. You fucking tell them no, and then whenever they do whatever, then you make them feel your fucking consequences,
make them
right?
push you out. If you go to a
Like,
government building,
that's
they tell you
right.
to wear a mask. You make them remove you.
Make them make you,
Yes.
right? Make them fucking make you. And 99% of people won't fucking make you. All it takes is say no. Most people are not. This is the thing. Most people, especially people who are used to getting their way, are not used to being told, no, I'm not going to do what you have told me to do. And that is multiplied tenfold for government officials because they get their way all the fucking time. It's very simple. So if you say, and this is the thing, like whenever you tell somebody no, or whenever you see this kind of disobedience, like look at the disbelief. Like I cannot believe, like de Blasio, the voluntary phase is over. This is him basically admitting, like, I can't believe these motherfuckers aren't doing what I told them to do just on their own. We're gonna have to make them do it, right? So like whenever you push back even a little bit, this shows what cowards these kinds of people are. And it should give, I mean, that's a white pill, right? It should give you hope.
Absolutely.
Whenever you give the inch of pushback, they're like, oh, what? We're going to have to, and this is like, what we're witnessing are the death throes of the cathedral. Like what we're seeing with this open cooperation, when I was going back to what we talked about at the beginning of the episode, was where I say they're going for this techno-fascism a little bit too soon, this is desperation. They understand that they're starting to lose their grip on the control. They're starting to see like, oh shit, these people are kind of realizing we're not credible and we don't have things under control and we don't have, so any more of that is better. Like, you know what I mean? So I totally feel you there, Tim, about it. I have the same feelings about the boating accident thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not advocating any kind of violence. I would never advocate any of that. It would be an absolute shame if anybody did anything bad to any federal agent coming for your firearms.
Oh, no.
But absolutely do not lie to them and say, no, I lost my guns or I sold my guns. if it's time to lose them, it's time to use them, kind of deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Are those plates level 4, buddy?
Tomorrow with the hard-hitting questions. Well, I want to wait for Rich to get back, so we're gonna have to burn some time for a minute because we have a very interesting debate, one that you are one that you are totally not prepared for, but it is one we are going to end the show on.
Okay. While Rich is gone, I'm gonna go piss again. I'll be right back.
Go. Yeah.
I, for one, am ready for this debate.
I am
Is
so
anyone
very ready.
Is anyone
I have a
taking
great story.
Is anyone taking the affirmative? Okay, while Nick's gone and he can't hear us, is anyone taking the position that a hot dog is a sandwich?
Yes,
No.
I will take that position. I will climb the hill.
Okay, where's Josh? I'm kind of pissed that Josh isn't here because he's the one who sounded very passionate about this.
Josh has more important things to deal with. He's got his bro's wedding.
Before he gets back, but
he was very passionate about
never mind.
a hot dog being a sandwich.
I'll take the affirmative.
I will argue.
Tim thinks it's a sandwich.
Because I'm trying to be an attorney here come February, I will try to argue either side. I personally think it's not a sandwich.
I'm approaching this from a
Robert, how much
philosophical level.
pro bono legal work are you going to do for us?
Oh,
that's a great question.
I will have the hardest pro bono for you.
Oh.
For the whole Mises Caucus.
I can feel it right now, man.
If the Mises Caucus ever needs any legal work, and I am an attorney, it's not even going to be a thought.
Don't ask him right now.
Big hard pro bono.
Lawyer yet.
Let me just tell you right now. Anyone, especially a certain group of people who advocate for a certain kind of society, one that I'm not particularly a fan of. Anyone is always welcome to come up in my airplane with me and take a nice flight at 10,000 feet.
Mara, I'm not hopping in an airplane with you, dude. I'm not. Until
I do not trust you.
5 years into it.
So when we first get on here and we're bullshitting before the show starts, Mara goes, "Oh, I've got the 3 of you on my hit list."
What
do you mean your hit list? Mara's like, "You're the guys that are going to come up in the plane with us." I'm like, "Wait, hit list plane?
Why is that
are you
called
going
a
to
hit
throw
list?
us out of this plane, Mara, when we get up there?"
Name it something else.
Listen, I was a communist in high school.
I'm going to hit the airport next to your house.
Wait, hold on, Mitch. You were
actually, I have an airport right now.
You were a commie in high school?
Okay.
What?
Mitch, you were a communist in high school.
Only because it was the idea of, well, shit, I don't like the Republicans and I don't like the Democrats. What's the other option? Communism? Okay, I guess that's the only other option.
Mitch is notorious for doing everything for women.
So you can make the change.
And
no, you can, but at the end of the day, when I started going on Reddit and interacting with communists, I was like, oh, you guys aren't my people.
I'm so
Look, I will say this. Because I used to subscribe to the, hey, communism sounds good on paper argument when I was young and fucking stupid.
Same. Yeah, I agree. It's a terrible argument, but I got you.
Yeah.
We're all young. We're all 17
it's like,
at one point.
On paper this makes sense, but obviously it needs to be voluntary. Like a million and one things that I'm sure we've all gone through as we've matured. Cheers.
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready for the...
But I used to subscribe to that argument, and I mean it just it might sound good on paper, but it doesn't work. Like, I mean we all know that, and I lost my train of thought. But...
It would apply like elections would apply without a human element.
Right.
No.
It's fucking retarded.
I don't even think that. I think like this is my analogy here. Is like I think that saying communism works on paper is like saying that on paper Dr. Pepper tastes better than Coke because it has more sugar. Like, well, no.
More flavors.
Some people don't like more sugar in their fucking drinks. Some people don't want to live in a society, or most people don't want to live in a society where everything is collectively owned, right?
Yeah.
Or the means of production are owned by whoever. Like, I think that the idea that communism works on paper, not only is it destroyed by the fact that communism doesn't work in reality. Like it's very clear that that's not the case. If something can't work in reality, then it really can't work on paper by definition. But yeah, that's my thing. Like in theory, everything works. right? In theory,
In theory,
I think
Mara's
yeah,
not a
that's the
virgin.
point of theory.
In theory,
In
yeah, that's
Mara's
the point
have
of
sex
theory.
with women, but in reality, the truth is he's still a virgin.
Why would you
yes,
do that
he
to him?
is. Yes, he is.
Why would you do that in front of like two people
I
online?
I agree with you. I agree with you, Nick. I think it's more of like the way I've always said it is like communism does work in smaller levels. Like I'm a communist whenever it comes to my family. If my family needs my help or
fucking
my
dictator.
money,
That's not even
If my-
communism. That's just altruism.
well, maybe, but like you're sharing fun. Like if
The
I'm
hippie commune lifestyle works on a small
No, that
scale.
shit
It
is
doesn't
mine.
work
Yeah,
on a
no,
big
went to
scale.
not
Even
even
then.
no. I'm not saying even a commune level because some people are like I don't want to do that. But like on a family level,
You don't want to share?
on a family level, you share, and you share not really equally, but you do share. And then as you get gradually bigger, you're like, I don't want to share with you. I don't want to share with Nick. I don't want to share with Tim. Like my brother broke his leg. I'm paying for that. Tim's brother broke his leg. I'm not paying for that. Like I'm not gonna do it.
Hey, when I moved down here to Florida, me and my family,
Oh my god!
me and my two brothers, we all got a house together because we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know how easy or hard it was going to be to get a job, how long it was going to take us to get on our feet. So, me and my two brothers, both of whom had, essentially a family, or at least starting a family at the time, we all got a house together, and it was a big ass house. And we all kind of got together and we said, we're going to split up the bills by doing X, Y, and Z. And, these chores are going to be on this person. These chores are going to be on your wife and on your girlfriend, this, that, and the third.
So
essentially, it was a very tiny commune.
No. Okay. Well, here I'm gonna.
All the women are gonna cook us
very,
dinner.
very
Did you
every
only
meal it
do-
works.
Did you only do that which you could provide?
I was gonna say it's the whole mantra of communism is from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. So you're not a communist in the home. You're just not. Sharing isn't communism.
It's
Sharing
not.
is sharing.
You're right. You're
You
right.
damn
You're 100%
anarcho-collectivists.
All right. I feel
That's interesting. Wow,
with
that's
No, that's
okay.
literally Bakunin's. That's the difference between Michael Bakunin's anarchism and Karl Marx communism.
Look,
Okay,
I love
so-
Bakunin.
so-
Bakunin was
Based.
based. Yeah.
So, are you saying? Okay, so this is new to me. I'm sorry. So communism is. Are you saying it's based on your ability, and then?
You've never heard that phrase before?
No, I've never heard the phrase before.
The mantra, you never really?
No.
Yeah,
never
the
really.
mantra, like the whole idea, the Marx's tagline was from each according to his ability. Ergo, like the big guy who's strong, he'll be working in the mines because he's a big guy who's strong. The small lady who's, I don't know, she's weak, she's little, she's 5 feet tall, 100 pounds naturally. She'll be gardening, whatever. So that's from each according to their ability. Obviously, the 5 foot tall, 100-pound woman does not have the ability to be a builder or work in the mines, and the big dude has the ability to go work in the mines. So from each according to their ability, to each according to their need. So the little 5 foot nothing girl, she's not going to need as much food as the giant mine worker, especially because he's working a lot harder than she is. So he's going to get more based on his need. But the problem is, what I'm saying is that's not how you work in the home. How you work in the home is not from each according to his ability to each according to his need. And I will also say things are not just simply collectively owned. If things were collectively owned, then you, like, in the home,
I could tell you were watching.
part of it is having no hierarchy too.
The parents have the hierarchy.
And
they're
hierarchy, hierarchy is natural. There is no such thing as abolishing hierarchy. And that's a big thing. Like anarcho-communists say that there was no hierarchy. There's hierarchy in nature. There's hierarchy in everything. And my little thing that I say is, and I've never gotten an answer, is if you believe in the abolition of hierarchy, then you, by definition, you think that a 2-year-old and his mother have equal say in what's for dinner. And that's clearly that clearly ain't going to work.
Yep.
Not only is it not going to work, but it's just impossible.
Just a funny news thing real quickly here too. If there's no hierarchy, then will someone please explain the monkey wars going on in the streets of, I want to say, Thailand?
Oh,
The
shit.
Monkey Wars?
Yeah, there's like these
Yeah,
videos online of these I guess because COVID has like fucked up travel, there's now like these gangs of monkeys that have been fighting each other. I think it's Thailand. I could be wrong.
No, you're right because
Hey.
Yeah.
there used to be so many tourists coming in that the monkeys could like grab chips off of somebody and like
Yeah,
they would,
now they've
would
actually
steal
formed
the
like gangs.
glasses.
They have collectives.
Yeah.
There's a king of each pack.
Yeah, the monkey would steal like your glasses or something, and you'd be like, "Here's a banana or some chips. Give me back my shit." And the monkey would do it. Now, no one's in the streets, so they're just like monkey gang fighting each other.
We don't have to
And-
worry about that being out there. We have monkey gangs here in Central Florida,
Dude,
and
you're
they all
so
have herpes.
Dude.
They have herpes. Monkey
Hey,
gangs in Central Florida have herpes.
He said it. He said it. Not any of us.
Ooh, I didn't say it.
That's you, man.
Hey,
That's all you.
Don't
What?
ban me. Yeah, that's
No,
dude,
I'm
that's
actually talking about actual monkeys.
Are you talking about the ones in
motherfuckers-
Silver Springs?
All right, okay.
Yes, the Silver Spring monkeys. You
Pivot.
guys are thinking nasty thoughts.
What?
You
I
about
am
to say the
not.
N-word. Oh God. Oh.
I'm gonna stop it
dude,
right
we
here.
have
I'm gonna stop it
15
right
minutes.
here. Okay.
We have
Yes.
stuff to talk about.
Yes.
We have a
Cut it,
very
cut it.
important topic. To
There's
talk
a
about.
serious
Him,
debate.
lead us off.
And this was just
Sure.
like, okay, so to give you some backstory, Nick. So before you came on the show, we passed around some links of some other shows that you had been on and some podcasts that you had done. And so here's this really esoteric thing, and we're going to have a serious debate on it right now.
Sure.
All right, so we're going to go around the room, and you're going to tell us, do you believe a hot dog is a sandwich?
Oh God damn it! You know my answer already.
Well, I'll let you say it, and then we'll go around the room. So Nick first.
No, a hot dog is not a sandwich.
Duke.
No, it is not.
Mara.
Yes, it is.
Rich.
Wait. Are we gonna elaborate?
Yes, we're going to elaborate. I want to get everybody's position first. Rich.
I'm with Ace on this. If you say, something between two pieces of bread is a sandwich, then yes, it is a sandwich.
Mitch, go ahead.
No, it is not a sandwich.
Robert.
No.
All right. I'm still torn on this. I have an answer, but I want to let everybody debate. So,
Let me fire off the first volley.
Please.
Go ahead. Go.
So, all right, we have to go into like the basic fundamentals and philosophy of what is a sandwich.
Yes.
I agree.
Right. So, I hold a very loose definition of what a sandwich is. I believe that a sandwich is basically one thing in between two things, right? So if we take who did it? It was KFC, maybe it was Arby's. You take two pieces of chicken and then
KFC.
you shove
KFC,
a
yeah.
ton of you put some
Yes.
stuff in between it. I don't know, cheese, lettuce, boom, sandwich. Burger,
Bacon
bread,
and cheese,
meat,
right in between it.
bread, sandwich, zip line, anchor post, section of industrial strength cord, anchor post, sandwich. So explain to me how bread, tube of meat bread is not a sandwich.
Because first of all, there's one piece of bread. It's not two
No,
pieces
it's
of bread.
2 pieces of bread.
It's
Yes.
No,
It's
Are
two
you
pieces of
kidding?
bread.
Dude,
It's
dude,
one.
no, Mari, you're dumb. No, that's one
it's
piece
one.
of bread.
That is
It's
a-
one
no.
piece of bread.
That is a
It's one piece of
physical
bread.
change. That's completely subjective.
No,
They
no,
go-
the
No,
only
it's
change
not
is
like
one
that.
piece.
One piece of bread.
No. Mars, stop.
It's a
you, dude.
sub-
If
Fuck
you get
you.
a package of buns, you're not getting 16 buns. You're getting 8 buns. All
Okay,
right.
that's
so
right.
order
That's
16
fucking right,
socks
dude.
or 8 pairs of socks. It's
Yeah,
two
but hold
distinct
on.
things.
Stop
Is a
trying to.
sub. Let's go with the sub then. Is a sub a
Tim,
sandwich?
Tim, cut us off.
Yes,
We gotta go
it's
in
a
order.
sub, a
I'm getting
sandwich.
heated.
No,
I'm getting heated, son.
No. Don't dodge that. Don't pivot
Go
off
fuck
that. Is a
yourself,
sub a
Morris.
sandwich?
No.
A sub is a sub. It's called a sub because it's,
It's a
called a
sub.
sub.
Submarine.
Okay, I just want to
It's
say.
a sub sandwich.
It's called a sub because it's a sub. It's not called a sub because it's a sandwich. It's called a sub because it's a sub. Just like it's called a hot dog because it's a hot dog.
And
No, it's a
I would-
submarine sandwich, Nicholas. It's a submarine
Exactly.
sandwich, is what a sub is.
I would just like to say that calling a hot dog a sandwich is taking this argument to a postmodernist perspective, where instead of a sandwich being a sandwich and a hot dog being a hot dog, you're melting away a construct built up over lots of years And
Your
basically
Jordan Peterson
combining
is
them
not
as
as good as your Robert Kennedy.
It's not. I know. I've been working on it all day, and
Okay.
it's really bad.
So,
I've been
Mara,
trying.
So
Connor from the Libertarian Party Mises Caucus of Michigan has been trying to coach me, and it has failed miserably.
No. It's
But
getting
nonetheless, it is a
better.
postmodernist argument trying to bring both
Hold
those
on.
things together. And I would argue it's a collectivist argument because you're trying to collectivize sandwiches.
So
Yeah, that's right. There's subcategories in there. Here's the thing. This is what I compare it to is this is how categorization works. There are animals that eat meat. We call them carnivores. Lions are carnivores. So are peregrine falcons. Peregrine falcons are very different from lions. That's how categorization works, right? They both fall into it. They fall into the similar. No, they fall into a similar category of they both eat meat, but we do not say that lions are birds. We do not say that peregrine falcons are mammals.
But they both eat meat.
But they both
Therefore,
eat
a hot
meat.
dog
A whale-
falls under the category of a sandwich.
What by your definition, then all vertebrates are the same because we all have a similar thing in common.
All
Just because
vertebrates are vertebrates. They fall under the category of being a vertebrate.
Are a
But a
whale?
sandwich
whale and a
isn't. This is the
tuna
thing.
both fish?
Sandwich is not a category. It's a particular item that
food.
falls under the umbrella
Shit.
of food. That's what I would
But I-
say.
Are a
Okay,
whale
I-
and a tuna both fish?
No,
Yes.
whale is not a fish.
Thank you.
But they. Oh my.
Hold on,
okay,
hold on.
actually
I got.
don't have to make that argument.
What's up, Rich?
Whoa! I got something for you guys. Okay. Subway is an
Wikipedia.
American fast food restaurant franchise that primarily sells submarine
Listen,
sandwiches.
That's leftist
Submarine
propaganda.
Sandwich. It says sandwich.
This is
in the
big tech.
fucking name.
Big tech is after us.
Mar, you got
I
some.
They
really
want
don't
you to
feel
get
that-
chicken teriyaki, motherfucker.
I
Mar,
really
you
don't
got
feel
some
that
prominent
strongly
middle
about it,
fingers.
I know
You got some
don't. That's why
prominent
we're
middle
doing it.
fingers. They like to
This is
stick
not my
out.
first time in this debate, and I have a really good story.
You don't
My
have
main-
you have a suck my dick story, dude. You're gonna
No,
go
it's a
down.
real story. I'm not even kidding.
I'll be real quick. The main thing about me saying a hot dog is not a sandwich, it's not based on like an actual argument like I'm trying to make now. It's just like, come on, man. That ain't a fucking you know what I'm saying? Like it's
don't even
different.
blame
It's
you.
different, bro.
Is a chalupa
You can
chalupa
feel
a
it.
sandwich?
No, you can
It's
feel
not
that a
between bread.
sandwich and a hot dog are very different.
That's what I mean. It's,
It's
just
just-
intuition.
before
It's not
Mara-
really
It
like
is.
a
It's
philosophical
preternatural.
argument.
Before-
It's just
before-
intuition.
Before Mara
Instinct.
tells us all a bedtime story and we ask Nick his final questions before he leaves, I referred to the woman in my house known as my wife, and I asked her if she thought a hot dog was a sandwich, and she asked me if a taco was a sandwich. And I was like, well, okay, I understand the point that you're trying to make. And she said, well, then if a taco is a sandwich or isn't a sandwich, a hot dog is an American sandwich. Or is an American taco. A hot dog is an American taco. Too many drinks.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So yeah, that's kind of where
All
I was
right,
going with it.
Mara, tell us
Not a sandwich.
you say you have a story about hot dogs in the Boy Scouts and you had to write
Yes.
letters to their parents.
Okay.
So
okay.
let's
so
go.
This one time in band camp.
Yeah.
I used to work at an overnight summer camp and it's owned by my local Boy Scout council, right?
Dude, if there's any
So-
underage kids in this, dude, just stop now.
Hold on.
Wait,
So,
but
Basically, tradition goes on Wednesday nights, all of the scouts and like 99% of the staff go into the normal mess hall and eat as normal, but it's an extra long dinner. All of the adults go to somewhere else and they have like a scoutmaster dinner, an adults dinner. They serve actually some pretty good food that's not regular garbage.
yada yada. What?
And they talk about merit badges and other dumb shit. So, but we always make big program out of Wednesday night dinner for the scouts. This year, we had been hyping up all week, and it was going to end on, it was Monday to Friday. Is a hot dog a sandwich debates. On Wednesday night, disseminated as, don't sit with your troop like you usually do. Sit on which side of the dining hall the position you wish to take. Is or isn't it a sandwich? There were cardboard signs that we had made and brought. And I want to point out I was at the Scoutmaster dinner this night. I've only secondhand accounts, but so they, we're trying to kill time. We have to take up 2 hours at this meal. And, that's a challenge. Go try and entertain these kids who won't shut up about Ligma jokes and Obama for 2 hours, right? So eventually, kids look up to the staff members. So when 2 staff members are incessantly yelling at each other, a hot dog is a sandwich. No, it's not. Yes, right? They take example and they start yelling at each other. That elevates the energy level. At one point, a kid essentially took a pen and stabbed another kid with it.
Damn, son.
God
He
damn.
stabbed him like 3 inches below an eye socket, is what I heard. The kid who got stabbed
Over a hot
had to go to
dog being
the
a sandwich.
hospital, and they're 12 years old. And the kid who used the pen, he got kicked off of camp for the rest of the week.
I hope so.
Oh no
Yeah.
way!
Another
shit.
kid
Are you
was
serious,
like
Mauro?
crying
Imagine that
under
phone
a
call
table. Another kid was crying under a fucking table. And eventually they just had to let everyone out, send them back to their campsites, and send staff around because that is that chaos of a solution is better than what we have. So it ended in a lot of angry scoutmasters.
And
Again,
blood.
I wasn't there, but there were 2 troops. The one of the kid who got stabbed and with a pen, and the other of the kid who was crying under a table. Full director and full camp director and reservation director and scout executive was head of Northeast Illinois, Boy Scouts of America Northeast Illinois Council. Those are the guys who owned it. Wrote full 3-page letter, and every single staff member signed it, even from the camp that wasn't us. All the council's chiefs signed. It was
All right,
like
your
this
story's
was
dragging on.
crazy.
I'm cutting you off.
So,
Hey, I
You need like
Yeah.
rap-
I got one
last
like
question.
Oscars.
Yeah,
got
he
one
did
last
it, he
question
did it,
for
he
Nick
did it.
before he leaves.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
What's
say.
up, man?
Go around. Anybody's got any questions for Nick? Let him
Yeah,
answer.
I got
them,
it.
We'll plug
All right.
and we'll go.
Okay. Fuck, marry, kill Jose, Fat Dave, and Toad.
Oh, God.
Toad gets the last one.
All right. Okay.
Oh God, I just fucking choked on my Jack Daniels with fucking Jim Beam.
This is a tough one. You actually put him on the spot.
This
I
is
know,
tough
that's-
because
I was saving it.
because they're my boys.
Oh, that's
Of
a good
course.
one. That's a fucking.
That
good
makes
one.
it even better because they're your boys. Because you can imagine him marrying
You
them.
have to choose.
Just kill Fat
No.
Dave. He's not even a real person.
Oh, fuck Jose.
He is to us.
There you go. Jose was here earlier. You're getting fucked, boy.
Poppy.
I'll. This is the hard part: is who to kill. Because
Yeah.
this will
That's
be
gonna offend. That's
this
gonna
will be
offend some-
discussed in the next Tower Gang show. uh,
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta kill Toad. I'm sorry.
Poor Toad.
Fat
mean,
Dave
Mary-
survived.
Poor Toad.
Fat Dave
Mary
Yeah.
Cole.
Yeah, Cole is kind of cute in real life, so it makes
That's
sense.
he's a handsome motherfucker, but it's just me and Cole are the same age. Toad is about 11, 12 years older than me. I don't know,
And he's
man.
a toad.
I'm sorry. I feel bad for that decision. I would have felt bad for any decision I made for that. So I'm sorry, guys.
They don't.
That's
I
gonna be,
understand and I
that's
agree.
gonna be a fun conversation next episode.
I'm glad I have that for
Anybody
you.
else got any questions for Nick before we plug and get out?
God damn
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah. Just quick one. Wait, did you have more fun on our podcast than the Figuritarians?
Oh, dude.
No.
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 No, I did. Yeah, this was a
It's
great
Really,
time.
the bar is that high?
No, it was a good time. It was actually kind of tough to keep it up on that fucking show.
Yeah.
You had to be in character the whole time.
Well, it wasn't even character, but like
I don't
just
think that's what he
maintain
was
my
talking about. Erection.
just
I mean, those
Hey, man.
for fucking Waldenberger are just jiggling like crazy.
The cat boy, dude. I fucking
Yeah.
It's hot.
It was
hot.
In all seriousness, it was a great appearance, and we all appreciated it. You put them in their place, and it was the libertarian event of the month, so it was well worth it. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
And we appreciate you, Nick.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys too. That was fun.
Anybody got a question for him?
Hey,
Yep.
So I had a question, but it's a question that'll end up dragging on way too long. So I'll probably just shoot you like a DM on Twitter or something.
No, ask now. What
Well, what is the question? Maybe I can give a concise answer. We'll see.
All right. So you had an episode that you did with Reed Coverdale, and you said that during the episode, you said, I mean, I'm going to paraphrase here, and I'm probably going to butcher it a little bit, but it's essentially like the Tho Bishop strategy of, if I could pass a law right now that, is what would normally be an infringement on people's rights, but that law, gives people more liberties, that you would be for it. Essentially was the conversation that was had with Reed.
Okay.
Where do you draw the line? Because from my perspective, I've always been very apolitical, because I've always just tried to stay the fuck away from everybody because they're all assholes. So, what we've seen in the past few years is laws that were initially championed by conservatives for the purpose of, we're going to get more liberty out of these laws. And then in turn, the progressives go, or the left goes, and they turn it against them. And, we end up with a fucking boot on our necks. So where do you draw the line on that? Or how do you want to expand a little bit on that?
I don't remember exactly what you're talking about, but my main position is that in today's world, everything is so entangled with the government. Everything is so entangled and intertwined with statism in some shape or form that it's almost impossible to get anything done without some sort of process that is against some purist libertarians' ideals, right?
Yeah.
So if I had to draw a line, like, I think probably what we were talking about was voting. Maybe is that where the conversation was? Because my position on voting is I'm less concerned with the fact that more people voted for something than I am that a good outcome was achieved. For example, gay marriage was legalized by 5 people. The Supreme Court. It was a 5-4 decision. I don't give a shit that only 5 people made the decision. I think that it was the right move. Now, whether that means 51% of people voted for gay marriage or 5 people on the Supreme Court said, hey, we're doing this, ultimately the right move is the right move. That's my main, if that clears stuff up for you, that's my main thing. If I had to draw a line, whether it's where somebody's being like killed. I did have somebody ask me, because I was talking about, I don't remember what the conversation was, but he asked me if I would kill 1,000 innocent people to end all the wars. And my answer is no, I would not kill 1,000 people to end all the wars, because those 1,000 people are innocent. But we'd have to talk about this in more specifics, because I don't remember exactly what the conversation me and Reed were having was it on my show or on his show?
It was on your show.
Okay, yeah, I'd have to go back and listen and figure out what it is that you're specifically, what the conversation we were having was specifically about.
Yeah. No, we can talk about it later, dude. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're officially a minute over. Anybody got anything else? All right.
And the Fed.
Plugs?
Yep, go ahead.
Plug.
Nick, plug your stuff. You're the guest. And then everybody
You can
else.
find me
For every plug.
on Twitter at Nick_individual, and my show is individualistpodcast.com.
There we go. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Just want to thank my Turkish Delight for coming by.
There we go.
We've been playing footsies for too long on Twitter. It's great first speed, brother. I've been playing footsie with you, my bad.
All right, fellas. Everybody have a good night. Every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern.